Define those travels as you can, as they say. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the GOG community. Hello, Gogledites, Goglings, Gogorifics, Gog peoples, etc., etc. I hope everybody is doing well. And you're looking forward to a Tuesday stream. It is about 6 minutes after 4 p.m. Eastern, August 8, 2017. I am your host, Arvin Elleron. This is the show Pen and Pixels, episode 89, believe it or not. It's hard to believe that we're at that stage now, but episode 89 of Pen and Pixels as I continue my playthrough of Torment, Tides of Numenera. I do want to mention quickly, I want to give a quick shout out to Outstar Walker, our fearless leader, for these really cool intro and outro screens, which I hope I have done properly, but I think I did. I just needed a quick instruction on how to install fonts into my computer, which if you think that's dumb that I don't know, then too bad. I'm not a computer expert. But anyway, I was able to do it, and OBS recognized it fine and all that. And so we have got these nice intro screens. Oh, well, GOG did them. Well, you figured out how to deploy them properly. I don't know. You did something. Anyway, whatever you did, it was nice, and it looks good. And I was able to do this. And this was sort of the little compromise, which Outstar was nice enough to have, because I really like... You have a few suggestions. Oh, God. Here we go. I know your suggestion is going to be that you don't want me to have the pen and pixel screen because you don't think it looks good enough with that. And you're probably not going to like the way the illustrations did. I'm just doing it within OBS, quite honestly. But we'll talk more about it later. But I thought I did it. I followed your instructions. But anyway, maybe I'm wrong. So, but I will talk about that later on. But anyway, but thank you, Outstar, because the cards look really nice. The intro and outro cards that you did. So thank you for pushing GOG and for making it and for them supporting us. You've always been very supportive of us. So thank you. I squeezed it narrow. Oh, did I? Well, then let me see. This is why I wanted to talk about it now. So I can fix that. I can fix that right now. Like I can do like that. Because otherwise it doesn't fit into the title bar. Does that help? Does that help? Yeah, I know exactly, Rob. Stop mussing up GOG's hard work. Because the problem is I can't stretch it any further. No? It makes it worse? Like that? Like that. Is that better? How's that? Is that better? Like that? That. Is that better? How about that? I'll need to change the font size. Oh, good Christ. No, wait. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. I know exactly what we need. I know exactly what we need, and I'm here to help, Outstar. I'm here to help. Let me just help out here. I know this is exactly what you want, and I think this is going to be the way to do it. How's that? Maybe it needs to be faster. Armadillo, please, Tides of Numenera. Okay. Just destroy kerning on it. Oh God. Just send me something on Discord explaining how to fix this later on, okay? Just do that. I'm joking about the scrolling. I'm not actually going to do that. I will remove that now. I like the idea of having the vault right up on top. What is Torment's Tide of Numenera, Arvid? Exactly. I need to figure that out. All right. Well, I don't know. Something about destroying kerning, and I'll figure that out later on. That's fine. I'm sorry. See, I was so proud of myself, though. I was so proud of myself because I don't know anything about this stuff. So she told me what to do in her very clear email, and I thought I did that. And, but this is a long game, so it doesn't exactly fit the same way. And, so I don't know anything about kerning or any of this stuff. I am not a visual artist. So, my patience with Arv is legion. Listen, Rob. Listen, Mr. Video Effects Expert. I don't need to hear from you, all right, Mr. I got $8 billion worth of equipment in my house, so everything I do sounds like freaking National Geographic and IMAX. I just because you have got this stuff down does not mean me, a lowly writer and musician, knows the first thing about how to handle visual kerning and things, or whatever the hell that you just said. Anyway, I'll find out from Outstar later on. It's good to see everybody. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream, or will be enjoying the streams you've seen so far. Thanks to Outstar also for streaming right before me with Fallout New Vegas. And Chrono Wolf will be coming up with Night Howls at the end of that session as well. But we will do that. Yeah, Garb the games with up to 8 characters. Next up, I play VVVVVVVV. That's it. He is cool and tech savvy. That's it. So let's, however, we will slide off of this screen like so, and we will head over here to where I know everything's working. So hi, everybody. Oh, wait. That's what I forgot to do. So I will just get rid of this, and this, and I will put and I will put myself on there. Hi, everybody. This is me. Okay. This is me with my stuff. And I don't have any kerning here. It's just me being me, okay? Where's my GOG Twitch chat at? There it is. That's you, so you can all see yourself talking, which is what that's about. You had the same thing with 19 other streamers. I felt like I was going to be one of the ones who surprised you because you had so little to do. You were just going to be like, wow, he did it all by himself, like a big boy. And then I didn't. So now I'm deeply disappointed in myself and horrified. What is the thing with the font? You guys are funny about fonts. I find that visual artists have this hysterical obsession with fonts. And it's not Outstar. Everybody does it. All visual artists do it. And they're just like, oh, it burns my soul. And I'm like, it's a font. It's a word. No, but it's the font with the thing. I'm like, all right. So anyway, we will see. We will see. I should not look a bit stretched. This should look perfect. I didn't stretch anything. This is my webcam being my webcam. So this is the way it always is. But anyway, it has to look right. I know, it has to look right. The medium is the message. Yeah, I'll bet. Fonts matter. Fonts matter. What is this? What is this link here? That's funny. That's pretty funny. That's funny. That's funny. How to piss off your designer friend and give him the migraine. That's funny. I guess that would be what it was like if somebody gave me, if you sent your email to me, but it was just filled with constant, like, grammatical mistakes and errors and typos all over the place. I guess that's how I would feel after a while. So I see. I understand. Screw content. How does it look? Exactly. That's the key. But anyway, well, it's lovely to have all of you wonderful people here. And now that we've thoroughly demonstrated my ability to understand fonts, let's get over to the actual game, shall we? All right. Time Tudes of Numenera. All right, let's do it up. Now, X5 was kind enough to actually show me a link to what I was doing, because I played this 2 weeks ago. You may remember we played D&D last week. So I played this 2 weeks ago, and now I have a chance to do that. Yeah, see, 3 weeks selecting the font for my business stationery. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I like to choose the font. Look at her awesome shield, by the way. Man, that kind of shield is badass. Obviously, I do think that something, you know, things need to look a certain way. I agree. It's just, there's a certain level beyond which, it's like people who say, you know, you have this, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, if you stream at 90 frames a second, it makes a difference over streaming at 80 frames a second, when the truth is that the naked eye cannot pick up the difference between an 80 and 90 frame per second difference. But there are people who are just like, no, I swear, this is the thing with the stuff with the blah, 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 and I'm like, Jesus. So that's, you know, I'm not saying they're equivalent. I'm sure you guys have all kinds of logical design reasons. But for those of us who are just the plebes, the font plebes out here, I like Times New Roman, and that's what I use. And occasionally I will go through, I like Harrington. I use Harrington font on my own little scroll thing that I do. And this one that you used is fine. The funny thing is, if you said Comic Sans to anybody, Comic Sans people are just like, Comic Sans, it is garbage. And I'm like, okay, it's a font, it's a thing. I just like fonts that look nice. But I'm sure that you guys have know more than I do about the subject. But it's just really funny. Actually, Rob Rob and I think, have some similar feelings about audio. Like when we're like, how's the audio like? And people are like, oh, it's fine. And then it's like, it's clearly not fine. Like, you listen to it later on and you're like, what? This is terrible. And you're like, the reason it's not fine, that it doesn't sound fine. Excuse me for a minute while I get that. Okay, good. The reason that it's not fine is because your audio levels were peaking and it was doing this, that, or the other. But people just have a much different tolerance for it, than others do. So, font please. Wingdings is the real deal. Yeah, let's get a shout out for Wingdings. Wingdings is where it's at. Never use Comic Sans ever. Pinky swear. Like, I really like the font that's on my Rutoni chat, but I couldn't tell you what the hell the name of it is. I'd have to look at it and see. I don't actually remember. All right, let's get into the game. Enough font jokes. Just, yeah, Outstar, if you wouldn't mind just dropping me something on Discord or email and just telling me what I need to do to fix that so the font looks nice, that would be awesome. If you could do that, I'd appreciate it. And sorry that I got the kerning wrong or whatever I did. I apologize. Wingding is dead. What? How can Wingdings be dead? Oh, Wingding is dead. You're right. Wingding. Wingding the Griffin. Wingding. It's a moment of silence for Wingding. Yeah, Wingding was awesome. Right. No, I agree with you. I agree with you, dude. Word art. Let's all go back to word art. And Rob, you're right. You're right, dude. As you know, I said you and me both. Like, I'm with you, man. Like, I want the audio to sound good. And actually, I've talked to a number of people who think that audio is more important than I think streamers give it credit for sometimes, because a lot of times people are listening to it in the background, or they'll have multiple streams open, and hearing audio in a particular way will help. If you've got someone who's constantly peaking and constantly, like, you know, just sounding like they're all up, like it grates, you know, and without the audio, you have a problem here. Okay. Sought have we, but alternate routes to the anchorage remain closed. Wait, I did... What? No, it doesn't. I fixed this, though. I did the anchorage thing. The anchorage thing is open. The anchorage thing is open now. Find a mall that leads to the lost anchorage. I did! It's right down here, man. Good to see you, Pyron, by the way. I did do that, man.
Ready.
This thing right here. This is the lost anchorage. Do I actually have to go into it? I probably have to go into it, don't I? All right, let's go into it. No, it's the right save file. Let's open. Quest updated. The newborn maw. Okay. Return to Gar Kodo. Tell him what lies on the other side. Okay. But I found the maw. Alright, I'm going to go back.
Ready.
Let's leave the area. Oh, for sure, Rob. Yeah, you can go crazy with audio, but a lot of it is just understanding basic audio principles about not peaking, about listening to yourself, you know? I honestly think sometimes, this is going to sound odd, but I think sometimes that having good headphones is more important than having a good microphone for this reason. You can foul up a good microphone if you have lousy microphone technique, and Rob will appreciate this as a singer. If you are one of those people who's constantly doing this, and you're like, you know, I'm singing about myself in the time I'm on the shelf, and I would do, and you're like this, sound engineers will lose their mind. They're like, keep your head at the same distance from the goddamn mic, please. Within reason, like you're not just going to stare robotically, but this constant moving. So if you have lousy mic technique, it doesn't matter how spectacular the mic is. In fact, if the mic is great, it might even be worse because it'll pick up every pop that you do, every, you know, improperly articulated word, every time that you are too close to the mic or too far away from the mic or whatever. But if you don't have good headphones, you won't be able to hear that the technique is bad in the first place, right? So if you have good headphones, you can usually get a sense of how loud you are relative to how loud everything else is. And so in a way, I would say it's better to have that than it is to the microphone. Now, again, that's not to say that good microphones don't make a difference. They do. But I'm just saying if I was sitting there and I'm like, I can get an okay mic with great headphones or a great mic with okay headphones, I probably would go with the headphones. So I think. Okay, so now that I'm here, I can talk to Garkodo. Before I talk to him, I want to talk to these people up here and let them know. What's on the other side? What's on the other side is a place. Oh, what else is there? Nothing. I have no idea. I just ran back so I could turn in a quest. That's all. Hey, what's up, Marie's and Angel? Angel, what's going on? Been out for nearly a month. Oh, I know a little bit about that bloom juice stuff. I have a jar of it, actually, Discalte. Video is more important. Well, disagree, TW. Disagree. I will have to agree to disagree with you. I do think that obviously in a video stream, horrible video quality makes a difference, but I actually think that audio is slightly more important, especially if you're the kind of person who interacts continually. Now, again, there are limits to that. If part of what you're looking at is a particular visual image for a puzzle or whatever, then yes, obviously you want visual. I'm not saying that video doesn't matter, but I do think audio matters. So we'll have to agree to disagree on that. Yep. Okay, drink stuff, it's good stuff. You're just trying to get me killed again, Descalti. I know how this song ends. What the flip? I have...
You want it done right.
Dude, I found the maw to the Lost Anchorage. Why can I not tell you about it? Alright, fine, I'll turn in the other quest then. That's bizarre. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, good Christian. You, Christensen, that's all. But see, even if you have good mic technique, or you're willing to be open to improving your mic technique, you need to know that by having headphones first, you know? Yeah, exactly, Wolfina, that's all.
Trust and honesty are our bonds.
Okay. So, Herja lives. Let us hope that she understands the magnitude of her actions. In time, she may learn compassion. But such is not my experience. I've opened the newborn maw. It led into some kind of terminal or port. I didn't see any mutants. Alas, it would appear that we must remain in the bloom for now. In case people are wondering about the voice, it's because it says that he's working through a staticky robot voice that doesn't, that like cuts out all the time. So we shall find another route home eventually. Opening the maw has served the residents a little nihilish. Name your fee. Now, see, typically, I would say something to the effect of the work itself was reward enough. I hope that I've helped someone. But I kind of feel like... I don't need the money. Screw that.
I'll remember that.
You would do us all an unexpected honor. You have my gratitude. Cast it off. Okay, farewell, Garkodo. Before you go, what before the device to bound her to her prison? Do not lie to me, human. Ooh. I have worked hard to open this maw and to bring Herja to justice. I should be able to keep the disc as partial recompense for my efforts. Yeah, look, I already took no money for it, so... I was trying, Servo. I agree. Your work has been exemplary and we surely should be to demand its return. I don't even know what the hell the device is, but I'm not going to return this stuff to you automatically. Oh, wait, this is... Is this the thing? Oh, that's the Surgeon Sphere. Oh, that's the one that I got down below. This was right near the end of my stream last time, so I didn't have a chance to do anything with that. Heals 2 to 6 points of health per turn. Oh, it's active for 5 rounds. Okay. But it's an artifact, though. Hell yes. Hell yes. That's what I'm talking about. But that's not the thing I was looking for, actually. I think that's the disc. Looks like a flat circle of metal. Don't know how to reactivate. Might be valuable to a merchant. So I could have given the disc back to him. It's interesting. I could have given the disc back to him, but... And so I didn't give the disc back to him, which means I could sell it for 500 gold, or I could have taken 600 from him in the first place. Not entirely sure that worked out. I think that worked out because it meant that he thought I was awesome, but then he also gave me stuff anyway. I think. I believe. Maybe. Possibly. It was a little odd, I'll admit. I'm not totally sure. Okay. So that takes care of that quest. Now we've still got Broken Hearts, which is the whole thing with Ovinia. I haven't found her yet. I found the maw, but apparently I need to get into the maw and outside of it before they'll acknowledge it. I'm not going to ever do that. And the rumblings of discontent, I have one more missing patrol to find. So let's get back into the Lost Anchorage then. Because I think I've found all the other stuff that I need for secondary quests that I can do here. The rumblings of discontent thing, little Nihilish, somewhere in the vast interior of the surrounding slums. Well, there's also stuff elsewhere, actually. All right, let's check out the last anchorage. It's just another zone I have to explore. There's also zones north that I have to explore anyway.
Of course.
Yeah, but Rob and TW Clara, you guys are forgetting about the incredibly hype and epic Alienware, which is worth every penny.
You want it done right.
I'm making a note.
There, okay, marooned on an alien shore. That literally, I needed to walk 2 more feet to get that updated. Yeah, no, I figured as much. I did speak to him about that though, Duscalti. I did that enough to tell him, for him to tell me that I need to find Ovinia, and when I do that, I'll call him back, basically. So I did some of that. I know. I'm joking, Rob. I'm joking. This careworn woman is dressed in strange, ornate armor. Her bearing is military stiff, and her eyes roam constantly, although the rest of her body is under strict control. She assesses you in a glance. Outworlder, the Bloom Patrol is open. It's good that you spoke to me first. Few Lascars speak your tongue. Officers, mainly. We need practice. Welcome to the anchorage. It's good that the portal is opened again. Perhaps we can recover our missing people. I am Captain Jenner. The anchorage is my command. All you see is under my command. Explore our home if you like, but our traditions, respect them, please. I met some of your crew in the Bloom. Jamarda Arichi and her crew? Our thanks, Outworlder. From myself and from the crew. Should you see her again, please tell her that the way to the anchorage is open to her. I thought I did a couple times, though, Duscalti. I thought I spoke to him twice until he just said, now just find Ovinia. Maybe I'm wrong. Blessed day, our people have returned to us. Tell me more about your people. We lived here on the anchorage, as did our ancestors, for countless generations. Trapped here, they grew old, intermarried, raised families. Our laws came one by one as we built a new society here in isolation. We are military, Lascars, soldiers, sailors. We have hierarchy and strength. All know their place. All have the chance to ascend on merit. No favoritism. My own child is not even a Jem'Hadar. I do not review her records. I could lose my position for such an infraction. All families have such struggles. Perhaps we will serve together one day. What a wonder that would be. Such a family are we Lascars. We struggle against time, against memory, as we keep an eye to the sky, always dreaming of escape. Until then, we hold tradition of the civilization of home. Jem'Hadar, can I help you leave the anchorage? We are not searching for any port that will take refugees. We await the ship that will come for us. Our tradition tells us that home has not forgotten us, and that we will one day breathe its air again. Until we can reach home, we will not. Could you summon the ship to us or create a pathway to our native land, we would depart gladly. But not until then. Tell me about the ship. Until the ship appears from the void and comes to take us home, we serve the anchorage as did generations uncounted before us. Some fear the ship may never come, but we hold our eyes to the heavens in faith. Jem'Hadar, oh that's right. Until that day we toil. When the ship comes, and it comes soon, it will find a welcome berth in our anchorage and in our hearts. How long have you waited for the ship? As long as necessary, Outworlder. Apologies. We have waited for many families, many parents. My family, their family, and back many families before them. The Cortex would know, surely. But I do not think we wait much longer. Something in the anchorage's air. It smells of our time here coming to an end. The ship will come soon. Genghis feels the same, and he would know better than any. Alright. What's that pinging noise? Ah, the signal! For so long have I heard it I have forgotten. We call for the ship. Perhaps it has become lost. If so, we light a beacon in the void. Tell me more about the anchorage. The void is great and vast. It holds terrors. The anchorage is respite, a place of rest and safety. There were once many ships with many people. They came here, rested, refueled, took on passengers. Passengers traveled to many worlds around many stars. And then they stopped coming. But we remain. Are your ancestors the ones who built this place? I do not think so. We lived here many, many years, but if we built the anchorage, no memories remain. They tell us only that we serve. Perhaps it was built by our people. Perhaps it was always here. We do not know. Even the cortex does not tell us. There are older things than that which we hold dear. Tell me more about your society. I lead. As a captain, the anchorage is my command. Marriages I approve. I lead the rites. To me falls all responsibility for survival. But such duties are onerous. I delegate as captains did before me. So we have pilots, majors, jem'hadars, and others. They prove themselves through work, rise through ranks. Every 10 years, those of high rank may challenge me for my position. We speak to the cortex and match our minds. We solve scheduling, mathematical, logistical problems. Should my challenger win, I retire and advise. We cannot survive without cooperation. Huh. That's interesting. What is that cortex you mentioned? It is a device sacred to us. It is our only connection to our lost home. We do not allow outworlders to see it. I mean no offense, but do not ask. Well, I take offense! No, I'm just kidding. Why can't I visit the cortex? We were not always so protective. That was before other outworlders tried to steal it a few years ago. Perhaps you were different. This does not matter. No outworlder will ever be allowed to see the cortex again. Can you tell me anything about the outworlders who tried to steal the cortex? We were foolish. They came to us through a portal from your world. We welcomed them as guests and showed them the anchorage, the cortex. One of them put hands on it. His friends attacked us, the anchorage, burning the walls with their fire. We killed them, of course. All except the one who touched the cortex. Him we questioned until he died, screaming a word over and over. The word was Dracogen. Dracogen! Dracogen was the dude... Wasn't Dracogen the guy who was always in pain until What's-His-Face took away the pain from him? He's the guy who acted like friends of ours. Wow, Dracogen. That's interesting. Okay, we got to go turn in a few things here before we go any further. Don't ask. Here, that's a good point. Don't ask. All right, so tell me more. Like I said, don't ask. What I said was, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. Okay, we're going to talk to Dracogen in a minute. First of all, I'm going to turn in this damn quest I've been trying to do. Mostly the reason I want to do this also is because I'm really close to leveling, so...
Let's go.
I want to get that other level. Yeah, well, Fina, Dracogen was this dude that, like, really liked us and was like, oh, you're so wonderful because you took away my pain. Obviously, because there had been some trauma that the guy that he thinks I am, what's his name, the changing god, had taken it away from him, and now we'll find out. I found a maw on Little Nihilish. It looks like it leads to your anchorage. A savior. Truly, the opener of the ways who can rescue maroon travelers. Chalan Askun Toveld, Getza! He's useful, old but reliable. Ah, this man is a skilled navigator in this realm of flesh. At last we will return home. To the anchorage, that is. Changing tool. 150% on quick fingers tasks, 150% smashing tasks. Okay.
Making a note.
Thanks for the follow over on my channel there, Astrid the Valkyrie. Okay. Lovely.
On it.
Wait. Ask Dracogen about his efforts to acquire the cortex. Wait. If I'm willing to engage in some illicit business, I should see if Dracogen still desires the cortex. That... what? Yeah, Dracogen... Okay, that's right. I got that wrong. Dracogen is the information... But right. Yeah, I just figured that out, Dusculti. Dracogen is actually the information broker. He's the guy that I thought was super sketchy from the very beginning. Oh, dude, I don't want to do anything for him. Screw that. I was going to figure out a way that I could help punish him or something. Okay. So wonderful. I can level up in a minute, but first, before I do that... Oh, okay. I have it there already. I guess that's fine. I'll leave that there. Yeah, no. We can read minds. That's one of my abilities, which has proved to be very useful. I got that early on, so... Okay, increase stat pools. Increase edge. Use 1 level of effort at no stat pool cost. Yeah, I've already done that with intellect, which has been very useful. I probably should do might, because, well, I could do edge and intellect. Basically, edge allows me to do tasks without having to actually spend intellect points. Oh, or whatever it might be. You might turn it against him. Yeah, I guess, but I don't want to steal it from these folks in the first place. If I steal it from them in the first place, they're going to be even more bitter before we ever get to the point where I'm like, no, I was doing it to help you, you know? I have a lot of edge already in, I have 3 edge in intellect already. Right, exactly. I think I'm going to increase... I'm going to increase edge on intellect. I want to make it where intellect becomes, like, I never have to use up points in it. That's kind of where I want to be. I really built him around that. 4 edge is pretty awesome. Like, 4 edge means that I can, yeah, it's really going to help me out. So I think I'm in good shape now. Now, if the next time I get to use edge, I might use it on something like might or something like that as well. Yeah, I'm not going to, right, exactly. I'll explore the anchorage first. We'll see whether there's anything else that's useful that I can learn. By the way, guys, if you haven't already done so, you should be following the previously mentioned GC Darkside Rob. I think Rob is an excellent streamer. I've talked about this many times. Plays a lot of cool games, like games that I enjoy as well. A lot of RPGs, Skyrim. I think he's playing through Neo right now. Very entertaining. Also a very nice guy. Also a very talented voice actor and musician. And I know this because he has done voice acting on my channel, The Art Vocalist, and he plays in my D&D group. So Rob does a lot of stuff on my channel. But Rob's a good guy, and you guys should be following him. He has been streaming on Twitch for a long time, and he really does have a good professional quality stream. So you should be checking that out. Oh, thank you, X5. Right, so I want to go to the anchorage. Let me save it under this first. Save. Also, I don't think I said hi before, but hi, Kilgore. I don't need to tell people to follow Kilgore because they should already be doing it. I mean, that should just go without saying. What's up, Kilgore? Good to see you, man. Do you have the Jem'Hadar helm on you? Did you use it already? I don't think I have the Jem'Hadar helm on me. I have Waits for Prey's head. And his music is kick-ass. True. Indeed. I don't think I have, I don't think I have the Jem'Hadar helm. I don't even know that that thing exists. You got lost in the fontness? I saw, yeah, that's right. I do remember seeing your name pop up, but then it was all just like font, 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 font. Come on and get down with the fontness. Ooh, okay. All right. All right.
Trust and honesty are our bonds.
All right, let's see what's going around here.
Ready.
Ready. Wow, that's what I'm talking about right there. Framed by luxurious curtains, this window reveals the surface of an ocean world far below. The view is reminiscent of what you saw when you were born, but the water has a purplish hue and the scattered landmasses are brown and dead. This is clearly not the ninth world.
You won't notice I'm gone.
What's up, Arichi? Opener of ways, we have regained the anchorage. This one thanks you. I'm grateful. What we have here is display shows countless suns viewed from a moving point of reference. Plots distances and routes between them at a dizzying speed. Okay. Lascar. Three-dimensional image displays an evolving root-like system or perhaps an organically growing data structure. Like everything else in the chamber, this device is perfectly polished and clean. Every so often it emits a loud signal that vibrates the whole room. Okay. I guess they're not going to want me to interact with things. This Lascar examines the contents of an open hatch in the console before him, brow contorted. Occasionally, he takes a tiny component from the tidy pile beside him and plugs it into the machine's unseen innards, waits a hopeful moment, and mutters what is most likely a curse. He spots you and gives you the rueful grin of unsuccessful repairmen everywhere. Hello. Is good to come. Speak slow, please. I hear. I try. What are you doing? I fix. Try fix. Not fix. What are all these controls for? Is give information on stars. Is listen to the stars for voices. For home. When ship comes, ship speaks. I hear first. Tell all. Me. Is for cortex maintenance. What does cortex maintenance involve? Genji's does most. Me? Wait for light here, and then press button here. It's difficult work. Need concentrate. Without button, no remove cortex. So, is important button.
All right, Ren, you can do this.
Oh. Yeah, you know what though? I thought that... It sounds familiar to me though, because I thought that I did have... Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought that I did have a helm though. I did, yeah, I don't understand that. I did do that.
Go.
I'll go check that out in just a minute, because I thought I did that too. Examine the controls. Examine the familiar map on display. It takes you a good while of staring before you realize why the map looks familiar. It's a top-down view of Little Nihilish. The maw is marked and the greatest details are close to it. Probably the map is being generated by sensors that are projecting through it. Strangely, there's a flashing marker in one corner of the map. From the maw, you'd guess it to be about 30 paces to the right, past the exit to the vast interior, in a small cul-de-sac of trash. Ah! Okay, so that basically gave me the clue.
I'm going.
Let's find out. Let us find out.
I'll handle it.
Yeah, a voice. I hear a voice. Deep in the pile there, down past the place where I've dug. But a woman's voice calls out. Tell me you hear it. How can she call from so deep for so long? Does she breathe? The voice you heard in the trash pile. What can you tell me about it? She speaks in a tongue I know not. Started speaking not long ago, not in fear, not in anger, but her voice insists on being heard. Listen, eh? And maybe you'll hear the words yourself. Alright.
Yes.
Alright. Let's dig into the trash. Oh, there it is. So maybe I just hadn't activated it yet. Helmet similar to those worn by the Lascars you have met. Broken Lascar helm. The encrusted filth of the bloom covers this helm's surfaces inside and out. Looks like it would fit a human head, but the technology that created the helm is far beyond the capabilities of anyone in the Ninth World. Lights flicker from inside, and the helm intermittently broadcasts short bursts of speech in a female voice. Alright. You examine the helm more closely. It gleams underneath the crusted filth, worked with a skill unmatched in this age. Its crest seems to contain a number of dark black cells. Hey, what's up, Optic? What's going on, man? That catch and hold the light. Another streamer you guys should be following, by the way. Optic Nerve is another dude that I've known for a long time. Good streamer. Fine tracers in the cells look as if they might gather or disperse energies. It looks as if you could fit it on your head. From within, a female voice speaks softly in a foreign tongue, musical but harsh. After a few moments, she pauses and then speaks again. Look inside. The dark and padded interior has some faintly glowing nodules and soft synth fibers, but no visible eye slits or breathing apparatus. More importantly, the helm has been collecting rotting garbage and debris for what looks like decades, and as you scoop out the sodden mass, you discover fragmented bone, possibly that of the previous owner. You clean the helm as best you can. Closer examination of the interior suggests that it connects with its wearer through eye movement tracking. Once it synchronizes with the eye movement, the helm's internal circuitry develops a direct neural connection with its user. You suspect that it might also store past users' experiences and observations. That should be interesting. How about the voice? Though the words are spoken in the language of the truth, they are strangely accented and filled with growing alarm. Listening to the words, you pierce together the speaker's last moments, greeting a stranger, or a group of them, and discovering their murderous intent. Her skull fractured, she pled to death slowly, her body hidden in one of the trash heaps of the bloom. It's a wonder no one has found this helm until now. Wow. Just wanted to save it before I put that helmet on. The helm was clearly custom designed for a specific person's head, but you can fit it around your skull with some fierce tugging. The odor of decomposition fills your nostrils, as well as the accumulated filth of the bloom's trash. It is pitch black in the helm. No eye slits or breathing apparatus are immediately apparent to you, but after a few seconds, a small light begins to blink in the corner of your visual field. As your eye automatically flickers to it, the helmet's air clears, degassing the foul stench, and you can feel the air circulating from hidden pumps inside the headpiece. Several unfamiliar symbols line up on the right side of your visual field. Most are dim, but one symbol shines brightly. If you had to guess, the dim symbols mark functions that are unavailable at this time. Okay. A grid of smaller images appears. The bloom pictures the starry night sky and images of various people. Okay, let's look at the images of the bloom. Among the many images here, you see several that depict places you have been, though their particulars have changed since these images were captured. You suspect that years have passed. The first image is that of the vast interior chamber, its pathways and tendrils sprawling across the empty spaces. You see foul gases curling from the depths, a row of shops and upwardly built homes, and caravans pulled by a Neen traversing the strands. The courtyard outside the Memavira's fortress seems subtly different, and you look at it for a moment before two observations strike you. First, the uniforms of the guards are quite different from those who serve the current Memavira. You also notice that this image excuse me, was taken from where the Katina's wreckage sits now. The area still looks as dingy and dangerous, but the lack of the Katina makes the space seem more open, less oppressed. The next image is of the bloom, seen from a path descending from Sagas cliffs. Though you already had some sense of its immensity, its massive bulk momentarily takes your breath away. Wedged into the cleft between two massive escarpments, the bloom is both wide and long, with taut and massive tendrils anchored to the rock face. It looks as if the creature is dragging itself toward the inland sea. Very, very slowly. The final images in this collection depict Little Nihilish, but not as you know it. Most of the people you see are ordinary humans. Garkoto's great tank is nowhere to be seen. The piles of trash are smaller, and the ancient stone buildings still serve as habitations. Through an area of squalor and disrepair taints the place, and you can almost smell the garbage. It seems nearly idyllic in comparison to current reality. These images must be at least a decade old. Okay, making sure. Look at the images of the bloom. I already did that. Look at the images of the night sky. When you look at the first image, it expands outward again, showing a vast grid of other sights. Clearly, the owner of the helm took great care in recording the images of the ninth world sky. Either she loved the stars desperately, or she was collecting these shots to cross-reference with some other collection.
I'll remember that.
Have found something, the helm's former owner says. Must be certain. Must return to the anchorage and compare new data with the Navigational Cortex's archives. Ah, okay, Navigational Cortex, alright. The images of people. The pulsing, moist walls of the bloom form the backdrop of all these images, so your guess is that the helm's original owner met each of these people during their visit here. You see Drakeagen's tall form looming over a smaller man. Drakeagen's smile is sharp and fierce, and the threat implicit in the way he holds himself tells you that he's about to exact some punishment on his quaking client. The final image is that of 3 human men. One of them holds aloft a jagged piece of strong glass, its head bloodied. The owner of the helm holds up a hand to ward off another blow. Blood gouts in the air. Okay. Interesting. Whoops. It sounds like I'm going to need to get this thing repaired, is what it sounds like. And maybe I can get it fixed back at the anchorage, so I'll have to find out more. What's up, Marinda? I think this is, as I've said all along, I think this is very much in line with the feel of Planescape Torment. But it's a very different game in terms of, there's no D&D, there's nothing like that. I think Planescape Torment is better. I enjoyed it more. But I think this is very good. That's my general impression.
All right.
Okay. Do you recognize this spear and magic helmet? I found this broken helm in the bloom. Achille, I knew she was lost to us, but I take no pleasure in it. Thank you, Outworlder. Her family will be glad to have it back once you surrender it to me. I listened to one of her memories. She thought she'd found something important. I do not wish to hear of her private memories. Her thoughts are hers and should die with her. Achille was intelligent, adventurous, but prone to wild theories. Do not worry about her important discovery. Let it fade with her. Not sure about that. You said you're planning on giving the helm to Achilles' family? Yes, but not immediately. First, I will erase the private memories inside it, as is tradition. Then I will clean it, perform maintenance rituals. After, the helm will be given to her eldest sibling. I want to see what she discovered. No. You cannot scavenge through her memories because the helm is not tuned to you. Besides, it is forbidden. I had this conversation once before. Yeah, Numenera is its own game system. Yeah. Numenera, in a way, kind of fit alongside Planescape Torment. You know, so it's a little different. Yeah, exactly, Welfina. Erasing evidence is right. I had it with Achille. Fine. It would make her happy to know that her helm is carried by someone with her curiosity. Take it with her blessings. Achilles' memory said she needed to compare her data to the Navigational Cortex's archives. Do not share the memories of fallen Lascars with others. It is not done. Understand? Let her secrets die inside you. As I say before, Outworlders are not allowed near the Cortex. Well, I don't think we're getting in the official way. You know what that means. Alright, so we gotta find out more info.
If you think that's best.
Pilot Major Genjis, what's up? Worry stamps its lines on the feature of this man. Like the others in the anchorage, he wears a suit of ornate armor, but he has set aside his helmet. His hair is thinning and wrinkles web around his eyes and across his forehead. He is tinkering with some display, but he turns away from it to address you. Greeting. I am Genjis, Pilot Major of this anchorage. Tell me about your people. You have spoken with some, yes? We have lived here long. Many captains past, we discovered we would have to wait for the ship to come. Until that time, until the arrival, we survive. We wait. And we train. Tell me about the anchorage. It is many things to us. A home. A reminder of who we once were, and a promise. No, a prophecy. No, can show you the anchorage instead of just telling you about it. Can give you a tour, yes? What a wonderful idea. That'll take him away from the Cortex door. Yeah, it will. I'll do that in a minute. Before we do that, though, tell me about the ship. It was promised of old. It will carry us home. Is perhaps ridiculous for Outworlders to understand. So many crews have passed on, so many lives ago, yet still we believe. Some question whether it comes. Many have died before its arrival, yet still we believe. What is life without belief? Why do we keep on with routines and rituals if not for belief that someday we will go home? Come down on your own and leave your body alone. Somebody must change. You are the reason I've been waiting all these years. Somebody holds the key. When I marry and I just thank God for time. And I'm wasted and I can't find my way home. Okay. What do you do here? I serve, Outworlder. Am the keeper of the navigational cortex, its servant. I watch the sensors, I listen to its words. Information from antenna arrays filters in here. All knowledge of the anchorage passes the cortex. If I fail in my duties, the ship might arrive without my foreknowledge. So I clean and listen and study. If the ship should come in my life, and I believe it may, I will take its mind and mine, and we will plot a course for home. That day will come, I know it. I will be remembered as a hero. What is the cortex? What is the cortex? I almost speak too fast. It is our watcher of the void. It is the keeper of our history. It knows the night skies of a million worlds. It holds our traditions and tells us how to live in accordance with old crews. It keeps us alive, maintains the anchorage. It cuts, also does julienne fries. No. It alone is the voice of truth. Never has it been wrong. Without it, we would forget ourselves, becoming even more lost than we already are. That's lovely. Thank you for telling us. Okay, I found this Lascar helm in the bloom. Does that helm belong to Jem'Hadar Chili? Void, take it. I hope she still survived. Please show to Janor. Find out what Achille discovered. Make life count. Another dead. And Achille, she was my... No. I must not fall into despair. Must hope. Ba-dum-dum. Exactly. Okay, I am going to take that tour. But I'm going to do it after I inspect the rest of this. Yeah, that's got to be the cortex.
Making a note.
Okay. Zorinate doors are firmly shut. When you get close to them, a voice says something in an alien tongue. You don't understand the words, but they sound suspiciously like a rejection. Perhaps they'll reject my sword!
I'm going.
Door is made of some unfamiliar shiny metal. It's been polished to a mirror-like sheen. A magnetic strip of another duller metal has a strange runic script scrawled along across its surface. Looks like an instruction regarding the door. On trying the door, you discover what that message must be. This door is stuck, or something equivalent. You might be able to force the door open, but it won't be easy. Well, let's give it a shot, shall we? 55%. Alright. Let's try my boy Oligarn. Damn it. That door open. Okay.
All right.
Ooh, got some shins. Amplified encephalic rush. Hyperlutriated force. Concentrated spray flesh. Target enemy drops some of their possessions and wanders aimlessly, never attacking while the cure is active. Smart Traveler's Star. Small inconveniences. Choker doesn't stop real danger. Delicate craftsmanship of the star suggests the item was not created for simple wayfarers. More likely it was intended for high-ranking individuals wary of spoiling their expensive attire during the demands of social events. Nevertheless, its usefulness made it a nice trinket for the Ninth World's adventurers and travelers. Okay. Heavy door is sealed shut. It's the only thing that stands between you and the void.
You want it done right.
Alright. So, all I got left is the codex. So that's easy. So let's go over there.
Go.
Try to get that guy away from the door. Okay. Yes, of course. Follow me. You have already seen the elevator room. We will now see the observation deck where we watch for the coming ship, where we study the path of the stars. Follow, please. Interesting. Keep Genji's occupied with the tour. Access the... Okay, see. So I have to keep him occupied while also getting into that room. Alright. First, see this. The paths between stars. The journeys that took us to this place. And please, ask questions if you have questions. We should take him up on that. The longer we keep talking, the more time we have to find the cortex. Alright.
Ready.
Don't have it yet. Let's chat. Studying this display could help your people find their way home. Some of us believe this. They come here when they have no work to stare at the changing paths, to draw their own maps and dream? Yes, dream. Okay.
It's a plan.
Okay. In case they all do that.
Consider it done.
I imagine so, yeah, Disculting. I believe that the paths between the stars are too many. We must wait for the ship. We must move along now.
Of course.
You tap the symbols at random, noticing the light behind them goes out when you hit certain buttons in sequence. Oh, it's like Simon. It's like, you guys have played Simon, right? Like, the one that goes like lights and sound. Da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, and you're supposed to repeat what it does. Clicks and mechanical snaps sound within the door as you work, glancing back occasionally to be sure you haven't been discovered. With no warning, the door opens. With a sizzling pop, the panel goes utterly dark, and you smell burning wires. You won't be closing this door again, it seems. Issue the first unlock command from the console in the Cortex room.
Yes.
Visitor, would you like to do? Cortex about itself. I am a navigational cortex. I was manufactured 3059... This needs an echo. Definitely an echo. I am a navigational cortex. I was manufactured 3059 cycles ago by the Devabil Combine, with 2153 cycles remaining. I was brought here through a localized dimensional vortex, which has since collapsed. I am powered by a quantum-tunneled interstitial hovering matrix, the glowing orb you see before you. I interact with both users and appropriate receptacles to provide observed and recorded historical information, starfield tracking and navigation, observation, and essential starport maintenance. I maintain information regarding exactly 1,097,544 star systems, with detailed information on routes between them, including known transdimensional passages. For every world in each of these star systems, I hold detailed images of their night skies and projected daytime star fields. Additionally, I maintain detailed personnel information for this station dating back many centuries. Let's examine that history. Thousands of records, perhaps tens of thousands, scroll past your eyes, appended with arcane timekeeping, name changes, dates of birth and death. All the personnel who have ever lived, traveled, or otherwise passed through the anchorage, no matter how brief their stay. The sheer amount of information is overwhelming. Certain historical trends can be deduced through analysis of this data, but this does not seem to be your focus. Popular interactions include brief historical overviews of the station, important recent events, and location searches on missing crew members. I asked about historical. My records extend to over 10,000 of your years inherited from my predecessor in this position. In all this time, the people now calling themselves the Lascars have crewed this station, and pre-existing records suggest that they were here in a more formal military servile capacity before the shipping lanes began to close. The original crew of the station has repopulated the station, and their descendants have grown in number. A number of conflicts have arisen over the years, in particular the 5-cycle mutiny, the airlock debacle, and the castaway action. Each of these helped define the current power and familial structure of the existing population. The current structure of the population is strongly based on and influenced by the naval hierarchy of their forebears. They await the coming of another ship to close the station properly and bring them home. Approximately 15 years ago, as you measure time, a transdimensional pathway opened to the station. This was the first contact with other sentient life the inhabitants of this station have had in generations. Trade was established. That portal closed recently, but it's been replaced with a pathway through which you entered. Okay. Approximately 15 years ago, as you blah, 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 blah. Okay, what about missing personnel? A single Lascar remains unaccounted for. Jem'Hadar Achille passed it through the transdimensional gateway approximately 15 years of your time ago. She has not returned. If you have any information on additional personnel not covered by the census, please report immediately to the captain. Yeah, I'll bet. Jem'Hadar Achille traveled through the transdimensional portal that opened 15 years ago. Her mission was to explore and establish potential embassy and trade. She was also to seek other routes whereby the inhabitants of the station might find passage to their homeworld. Her last transmission contained a report of her investigation of a community known as the Bloom, which apparently existed inside a living creature. She was 28 years of age when she departed. She left behind 2 sisters, a brother, and a father. Been playing this yourself, amazing game. Yeah, Darky, it's pretty wild. Okay. This helm belongs to the Jem'Hadar Achille. She has been missing for 15 years by the reckoning of your world. It contains a visual record she marked as being of importance. She suggested these images be analyzed. I will do so on your command.
I'll remember that.
Oh yeah, give me that. Processing. 1 moment. Biological matter has entered some of the helmet's contacts. Hey, Coyote. I will be unable to analyze this object unless the cortex removal process has progressed to the 3rd stage. This will allow me to open the cortex housing and perform a focus scan analysis of the helmet. Exact coordinates of this station are 12.93, 476.947, 18H57Z. Okay, so that doesn't really help. Accessing records. Calculating. The Lascars have been waiting for the vessel to take them home for approximately 10,091 of your years. You're playing the charming Jack class? Nice. The home of the Lascars is called Ishtrinu. Of course, as I note that you are a first-time user, Stage 1 requires you to assemble a pass symbol on the screen before you and pull the lever on the side of the console. And we'll do that at a later date.
Of course. Of course we can help. Right, Al?
Alright, it's just about moving.
All right.
No, I'm not. Now see this. A map of another kind. A living painting of the cortex's thoughts.
Yes. Now.
Okay. The first stage randomly generates a pass symbol comprised of, 9 to 17 shapes that must be aligned within a short period of time. The lever on the side of the console can only be pulled when these shapes are aligned. I have not seen a new user attempt this stage for some time. Pilot Major Genjis has become quite proficient at this process. Good luck, new user.
All right.
Okay, so I have to assemble the pass symbol. Okay. Let's chat, bro. Let's see. It refreshes constantly. Is it changing its mind or checking if the thoughts are still there? I wonder the same thing. Nice, you wonder the same thing. That means you're going to keep thinking about it.
Consider it done.
Lovely. I try to follow this Heracra, how to say, thought example. To question every thought, yes? To have a flexible mind. The tour must continue. I have much to finish after. Nah, you don't have anything to finish, bro. It's fine. Alright. Let's assemble the pass symbol. I just wanted to save at least one of those. Okay. An excellent solution. Well done. Stage 1 of the removal process has been completed. Your actions must now be verified from the control pit. Please wait. Oh crap, the control pit. Oh, so I have to do... Okay.
Go.
Okay, so he's got to do that. Well, okay. So... This thing. Alright, let's have her talk.
If you think that's best. Of course we can help. Right, Al?
Yeah, I just noticed that myself.
It's a plan.
Hopefully he's coming this way anyway.
One moment, and it's done.
Okay, this is the right one. Is there a way... Can I delay my turn? Is there a way to delay my turn? Because I don't want to leave this area. Is there a way to delay it? Or can I only skip it? I mean, if all I can do is skip it, that is what it is. But what I'd like to do is to delay it and then have one of them do that. What's up, Izzy's? Just skip it? I think I might have ended my turn by accident. You can't delay. Alright. Well, shoot.
If you're sure it's safe.
Yes.
Let's get you around here. Done. Thank you.
I'm there, in the shadows.
Lovely. Oh, take it easy, Izzy's. Now, see, you know this door, of course. You came to us from it. Yes, I did.
I'm going.
Okay. Stage 2 initialized. Please identify the core locking components from the previous stage. Once you have done so, the casing over the error unable to translate title of switch will open. Flip the switch to complete the stage. Okay. A flood of symbols streams across the console's tiny screen. At first, none of them look in any way familiar, but as you watch, you recognize a few. They disappear beneath your tapping fingertips with sweet piping pings. This is like Mass Effect hacking. Totally the same. A fluttering sound, something like an insect's wings, rises from the console, and the casing pops open. You flick the switch. Stage 2 complete. Well done. Your actions in Stage 2 have been sent to the observation deck to be verified. Please wait. Oh, I'll wait, all right. I really hope you can answer this question. Oh, come on, man. Really?
Like a whisper.
Okay. Alright. Touch. Shoot, 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 shoot. Stop running so far away, man. Ah, dude. I could have delayed him there, man. Alright. Stage 3 initialized. Simply arrange the previously selected symbols into a critical error. Existing syntax is inadequate. Instructions are flawed. User may be unable to complete cortex removal procedure. Maintenance is requested. Repeat, maintenance is requested. Once this is complete, manually pull the locking cylinder from its housing, rotate it, and insert it back into the console. Crap. What's up, Hippo? Yeah, it seems like that. Alright, try to figure out what I'm supposed to do. Bereft of any of useful instructions, you study the sigils rotating on the screen. All of them are moving except the one in the upper left corner, the original shape assembled in Stage 1. It's the Apple of Eden, that's true. On a whim, you arrange the remaining sigils into a frame surrounding that shape. Excellent work. I've never seen it done faster. Yeah, well, I am the best. I am chosen one. Please wait. Your actions in Stage 3 must be verified. Okay, so now this dude is super suspicious of me. And I'm getting worried about... Okay, first of all... See, I have to run too far to get to him. Ugh, that's annoying. I should hook him back to me. Get over here!
All right.
See, I'm worried about this.
Fine.
Okay. Alright. Now he's not too far away, so see this now. A door once used by the most exalted travelers. Now often broken, and room beyond is for storage. That's fine, Broseph.
All right.
That's just fine. Okay. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Can I now... I'm confused. Can I now... Can I command it to process the data even though I haven't stolen it yet? Can I do that? Can I tell this to process the data first? And it's not going to break this system? Okay. Certainly. Please wait. Processing complete. Report. Jem'Hadar Achille was struck and killed at the date of her last record. Her file has been updated to reflect this information. Analysis continues. The information about the location of this world has now been added to my memory. Okay, do any of the images in the broken helmet match any in your records?
I'll remember that.
Based on time regression analysis of star field and relatively planetary position, only one possible world matches. Ishtrinu, the world the Lascar people call home.
Yes. Now.
The cortex removal procedure has been completed. The cortex can now be removed from its framing mechanism. Okay, remove the cortex. But I don't get what I just learned. Was that supposed to be something dramatic? Because why does it matter that that's their home? The star field. So in other words, she found their home? So that seems like a big deal that she found their home. What type of important visitors came through this door? Their names, lost. Captains, captain philosophers, masters of the civilization visiting the station to point and frown. Many ordinary travelers, too. Now, nothing. We have no visitors from the stars, so the door is never used. It breaks and stays broken.
Doing it now.
I mean, it's possible, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna leave her here because... Jesus, don't run that far.
Yes. I'll remember that.
Cortex is yours.
I'm going.
Why must you run so far away? Let's see.
Fine.
Of course, why she would know to do that in the party is a little bit unclear. Many names, the world. No one can agree anymore. For me, it is enough that it is still there and we are still here. Fair enough.
I'm going.
Yeah, I guess I can do that as part of the crisis. Beautiful, yes. Questions, have you? Why haven't you and your people settled down there? Because the anchorage is our home, until it is not. Also, the land on that world is dead. Alright. Well, Allegern is not exactly a conversationalist, so let's hope for the best. I greet you. What do you need? I have uncovered the location of Ishtrinu, your homeworld. The bloom lives in that world. You just need to go through the portal and you'll be home. What evidence have you of this? How do you know? The Cortex. The Cortex must verify the truth. We'll return. Why did the Cortex not know this? Oh, crap.
Whatever comes.
The Cortex is gone. We have protected the chamber for centuries, and now with your arrival it is missing. Return it, now. Why would he tell the way home and then steal it from us? I don't trust him. I have told you the way home. Why do you need the Cortex? Just gather your people and leave. Did not want to mess that up. Nonetheless, we must verify. Come with me to the Cortex chamber. Should your words prove true, we will leave the anchorage. You follow her to the Cortex chamber and she replaces the device in the Great Orb. She works the Cortex professionally, quizzing it in clipped, precise tones. Her eyes widen as the Cortex responds and she looks to you in disbelief. When she finishes her session, she enters an extraction sequence and hands the Cortex to you. You return to the main chamber. Okay.
I'm starting to figure this weird place out.
She calls the Lascars to her, and when they have assembled, she speaks to them for long moments in their own tongue. Her face shines. You hear gasps and cries of muted praise from her assembled crew. I was waiting for co-pilot from Wally, you know, from the ship to be like, "We cannot leave, Captain." You know, some weep openly from joy. Outworlder, whatever lies beyond the bloom is the place we call home. Our service is done. Our thanks. I was wrong, it was Earth! Eva! Exactly. I love me some Wally. Okay. You put the Cortex out and hold it, and as you focus on it, a pale blue symbol discreetly appears in your vision, overlaying reality. It's a small encircled plus sign, and somehow instinctively you know that it's a location finder. It blinks quietly but insistently, waiting for you to acknowledge it. Where am I now? A mass of stars swirls in your vision, a conglomeration of so many billions of stars that you can't quite comprehend its scale. Suddenly you are diving towards a point to the middle right of the star field, swooping and zooming towards a single star system. Projected orbits of its planets and moons are overlaid on the gas giants and small rocks that circled the star. The image in your vision focuses first on the star, and then shifts quickly to the fifth rock around it. That world is small and blue, seeming to consist largely of oceans with a few small brown landmasses. Some abandoned cities loom in patches on its islands, but before you can focus on those, the view shifts again to a single cord that rises from a dry plain on the largest island. Following the cord toward the sky, you see something that looks like a child's toy. A central hub that looks like a ziggurat mirrored top and bottom, with thick spokes that radiate from its center to the network of lines that surround it. With a start, you realize that you're looking at the anchorage, and that the blobs at each of the intersecting lines are docking stations for spacefaring vessels, and that the lines are passageways and transport tubes. Script and numbers scroll across your vision. The cortex speaks in your mind. You are in way station number 5193, attached to the world Emash Thun. How far is this from the ninth world? Calculating. 117. Distance shown is in light years, displayed in your preferred mental time measurement. Alright, I can see how that might be useful down the line. Alright, cool stuff. Let's have her level up, please. End of line. Da 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 da. So I have a confession to make. I have not yet seen the new Tron, whatever it was, Tron Legacy or whatever the hell it was. I have not seen it. I am so behind on all of my movies. What did you guys think of the new Tron movie? I liked the original Tron a lot. Meh. I'm so far behind, yeah. So why meh, Kilgore? It's okay.
I'm ready.
But Kilgore, did you like the original? And Jedi, did you like the original? Also, hi Jedi. Style over substance, yeah. Okay, so now, so this isn't going to hurt them anymore because they found what they needed, right? So I can now give him this thing safely, presumably. You like the original, okay. All right, cool. I was just curious. So yeah, can I give it to who the hell are you? It was brave of you to save the night. Herja, I mean. Well, I don't necessarily want to get all... I mean, I don't need to get all the mares. The real question is whether this hurts them. That's the real question. Is it going to hurt them to do this? That's all. It was brave of you to save the night. Herja, I mean. She could have made a mess of herself. She would have been as happy to be dead. She wasn't in her right mind. It would have been wrong to let her kill herself. But if you're going to kill yourself, are you always in despair? I don't understand how doing it in the light of rationality makes a stupid decision any better. Well, you don't understand, so. Yeah, I didn't think so, so... Alright, I might as well give it to Dracogen. Where is he again? Virus Courtyard, right.
Yes. Go.
Okay. Alright, well then I'm going to do that. Standard boilerplate, average acting, unremarkable script, a waste of time, but not a painful one. Okay.
You bet.
Yeah, it was the amount of time that had elapsed between the films in part that I think is hard to bring it all together. There's an issue of continuity, it seems to me. You know, it'd be like trying to do a sequel for a movie that's been out a lot. Like, can you imagine doing a Usual Suspects sequel now? How long has that movie been out? You know? I would think that would be difficult.
Of course.
Dracogen is down here. Yep.
Trust and honesty are our bonds.
Let's see. Student exploring the bloom, my friend. Word has reached these humble ears of a new mall opening near the court of Kargodo in 7 years. 35 years. Okay. Let's see. If it leads to the place I recall, which I thought long gone, it may contain devices of great value indeed. If I did not have pressing business here, I should explore it myself. But I forget myself. What can I help you with today? Gristler tells me the trade post is gone, devoured. You have agreed to my terms. You now tell me that you cannot fulfill your end of the bargain? I think not. You are resourceful. I doubt the trade post is truly gone. You simply need to find another mall that will take you there. Is this cast-off weaker than his kind, or is he simply toying with me? What do you mean, why not now? Why wouldn't I just give it to him now and wrap up this quest? His armor is so creepy. My dude's armor. Super creepy. Indeed. As I mentioned, I have an interest in unique artifacts, and I occasionally fund expedition to find these artifacts. When the bloom opened on the anchorage, I offered a reward to the team that could bring me interesting treasures in this location. Alas, the Lascars caught and prosecuted my employees. When we have concluded our business with the amulet, I may have a proposition for you. Okay.
Fine.
Gotcha. Alright. Well, that's fine. So this thing is wrong about giving it to him. Alrighty, so I have to find the missing patrols still. So we still got to hit up Little Nihilish, which I think is where we're going to go now. Okay. That's fine. And since we are a little bit over halfway through, guys, this is a good time to remind everybody that this is Pen and Pixels, the show that I run here on GOG, every GOG Comms Twitch channel every Tuesday from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern. I hope you're enjoying it. My name is Arvin Eleron. This is episode 89. This is a show focused on story and narrative in games, and currently we are focused on Torment, Tides of Numenera. If you like what you see in here, please make sure to follow GOG. Please sub to this channel as well, because that's important to be able to help everybody if you're able to follow and hopefully sub. And please check us out individually as well, because all the streamers here have their individual channels and do individual things with them as well. And most of all, thank you guys for being here. Okay. Let's do this. That's true, and this Saturday is D&D on my channel. Actually, Friday as well. I'm going to have some creative streams coming up in the next couple days. But on Friday, I'll have D&D on my channel with viewers. So if you guys have wanted to play some D&D with me, you'll get your chance. And then Saturday is D&D with the Infinity Beyond crew.
You bet.
Isn't that what I already did? Wasn't I already there? Or is this new? Is this thing just happened? Ah, you son of a... There we go. It will not be your epic Satara, illustrated by Terry Dunes. No. No, I don't believe so. Critical success! Oh yeah, stat pool spent on effort restored. Without a word, you throw your shoulder into the back of the wagon and begin to heave in time with the guards. Surprised at your sudden generosity, they slacken for a moment, and then, as if trying to prove themselves, redouble their efforts. You can feel a great, almost ultrasonic rumble of displeasure as the bloom's flesh begins to tear. I bet the bloom is really not happy with me. I've done some things to piss it off of late. Fibers pop one at a time, and suddenly the wagon is free and you stagger after it. In the fissure that was devouring the wagon, you see an object, some bit of Numenera, but the bloom flesh is already closing over it. Let's get this. Let's do this. Do 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 do. You drop quickly to your knees and plunge your arm into the rut. Your fingers close over the device and you pull it out of the wound before the bloom flesh knits itself back together. Orb of perception. Perfectly spherical orb, half a fist in diameter, looks and feels to be made of dark green, transparent glass, though you cannot see through it. Catches all manner of light in its center, and peering into it gives one the sense of abstract wisdom. Touching the orb to your temple will alter your perception of reality forever. Take immense power to break or blemish this orb. Utilize many, many times before you possessed it on its final charge. Perceiving is everything. Nice. You have our thanks, stranger. If we'd have lost the wagon, we'd have lost our pay. You're a damn sight more helpful than most around here. Why don't you go talk to our employers over there? Maybe they'll have something for you. I'll do that just as soon as I have some of this orb of perception. Permanently increases intellect by 1. Hell yes.
There we go.
That's what I'm talking about. Alright. Now let's go talk to the employers. You guys want to help us out? Yep, I'm still here. Something you need? Ever seen a weapon like this? Get rid of it. Can't you hear how much she hates it? I've heard of a weapon like that. Stories mostly. It's been around the bloom for a long time. The knife can cut open her maws if you fix it up right. She don't like it, and she's no friend to the one who wields it. Okay. I was actually looking for money, but whatever. Ha! I never thought we'd free that wagon. First good thing that's happened to us in this god's forsaken monster. Here. That's the same as I pay the Memavara for a passage into the bloom, and you're a lot more deserving than she is. You hear that, you great greedy wench? 240 shins. Oh, yeah.
I'm going.
Money, 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 money. Money.
I'm there, in the shadows.
Okay, so the old slave block, Surgeon's Slump, the Shrine of Chila. Alright, let's pick up the Shrine of Chila first, because I think that's smaller.
Right.
Then we'll try doing, what do you call it? Then we'll try doing the Surgeon's Slump, because I have a little quest in there, and we'll try to work backwards.
Let's go.
These sturdy jugs contain a slimy, viscous fluid. A tendril of bloom flesh squirms around in one of them. Oh, lovely. Words dance across the face of this scroll in a script so tiny you can't quite make it out. Only the title is legible. The Chronicles of Chila the Great, Volume 6. Chronicles of Chila the Great, Volume 2. It's not clear if the items in this table are intended for food preparation or ritual display, or both. This polished skull is chipped and pierced in many places. Oddly, it has no teeth, suggesting that it swallowed its prey whole. Rumpled blankets and rags lie on the floor, exuding a sour, sweaty odor. This is probably where some of the cultists sleep. The shelf holds a number of odd offerings. A skull, a sealed jar, some candles, a metal cup, and the shriveled remains of a small, hairless creature. That's lovely.
Ready.
Alright, let's examine the offerings. On this slab are a bizarre mixture of trophies left by visitors to the shrine. Many of the offerings appear to be food of the most ghastly nature. Candied eyeballs, amputated fingers and claws and little cakes and pies, and puddings made from other unidentifiable organs, probably all harvested from vanquished foes. You also see broken weapons, severed limbs, and a scattering of silver items. Little pots, cutlery, buttons, and other discarded scraps of the metal. That's charming. People have obviously been leaving their offerings here for some time, and everything is a jumbled mess. Your sharp eyes catch sight of tiny bloom tendrils that snake along the surface of the slab, attaching themselves to the offerings. They writhe and undulate as if feeding upon them, yet the offerings bear no physical signs that they've been touched. So creepy. Alright. Let's talk to the observant spec, shall we? In a shadowy corner of the shrine lurks an old woman, so tiny and unremarkable that she blends into the gloom. She's been watching you since you arrived, following you with bright, intense eyes. You notice that one of her arms is missing at the elbow. He's here. Greetings. The whispers told me you were coming, Cast-Off. They often do when someone they regard as interesting finds their way to the bloom. Did you come here with purpose? Do you know what place this is? Let me try to remember. Invigorating conversation. Critical success. You scan the room searching for anything that might seem familiar. A metallic gleam catches your eyes from the nearby slab of stone. It lies partly buried beneath a motley pile of offerings, but the unusual shape of the metal sparks a memory. The old woman follows your gaze. He left that as an offering. Your sire did, when he was here. You can almost feel the weight of the device in your hand. With a sudden, jarring clarity, you see the chamber as it was 40 years past, when the changing god stood before a group of robed bloom cultists, offering the device in trade for information. And in the corner, an elderly woman, bird-like, with shining eyes. This woman you've just met, or someone much like her, was at the shrine then too. He pored over every scroll, wanting to learn how Chila forged a friendship with the bloom, a bond that imposed no price upon her. Or so he thought. And now here you are in the shrine of Chila the Great, Chila Silverskin, Chila the Bride of the Hammer, and I am her observant speck. You're loony. When the changing god was here, what did he want from the bloom? To create a portal to another world, a place called the Ascension. He believed that the crystals of that world would save him from death. So he descended to the bloom's heart and forged a bond of sorts. From that bond a new Maw was born. It took your sire to the world he sought. But for every bond the bloom always exacts a price. If it could not feast upon your sire then, it will find a way to devour one of his offspring. More than one, perhaps. What can you tell me about Chila? Stories, passed from one speck to the next. So many stories told by so many tongues. Too many to hold in my head, but the bloom remembers, and it whispers in my ears to remind me. Do you remember how it all began when my Chila lived here and then? It's exactly how it sounds like. Do you remember? I bet you remember. Okay. Tell me where Chila came from. Speak to me, whispers. Tell me again about Chila. Look up, high on the cliffs, a sturdy little house. The cliffs of Sagas flash before your eyes, crowded with old ramshackle homes. They cling to the rocks, like little spindly crabs high above the sea. One of them catches your eye, a pretty little house, freshly painted blue and green, in a solid nook of stone. A man and a woman dwell inside, a father and a mother. 2 children they have, a girl and a boy. Now you can see the people, too. The girl is tall for her age, robust and strong. Her brother is small and cautious and quick. Okay, let's keep listening. One day the father pulls a treasure from the sea. Okay. You can see the man in a fishing boat hauling a silvery cylinder out of his net, looking at it in wonder. He brings it home to his family. What shall I do with this artifact, he wonders, for I am a simple man, not a wizard or a sage. The man glances out the window and sees his 2 children playing in the street. Artifacts bring trouble, he says to himself, and I have a family to protect. I'll bring this treasure to the boss of the town, and she will thank me for it. So the next day, the man gathers the treasure in a sack and sets out for the manor at the top of the cliffs. His daughter Chila wants to go with him, but he shakes his head and goes alone. Okay. Many weeks pass. The man never returns from the manor on the hill. Sheila asks everyone she knows, but no one has seen her father. One day, just as she and her brother leave their house in the morning, they hear a crash behind them. In your mind's eye, you can see the pretty little house pulling away from the cliff, its wooden supports snapping like twigs, bursting apart as it falls towards the sea. It strikes you as strange that this house, seemingly kept so much better than its neighbors, should collapse so suddenly. Yeah, I'd say that's strange. As her brother curls up in the street and weeps, Sheila stands beside him, gazing toward the manor at the top of the cliffs. "I know you did this," she whispers, "and I know what you did to my father. The treasure you took from him is my birthright, and I will have it back." That's what drove her? Vengeance? Not vengeance. A desire to be extraordinary. Sheila believed that her parents were easy victims because no one knew who they were. If they had been prominent and well known, the boss of Sagus wouldn't have dared to harm them. But they were small and simple folk, so no one cared when they died. For what else matters but to be known? The changing god also knew this. Tell me how Sheila found her way to the bloom. Speak to him as well, the cast-off. Show him the truth of the past. Look up, up. 2 orphans climb the cliffs towards the manor high above. In your mind's eye, you see a brother and a sister in their late teens as they scale the sheer cliffs of Sagus. Above them, carved from the natural rock, looms a great walled house. It belongs to a woman, the boss of Sagus and mistress of the bloom, she who killed their parents and took their birthright for herself. The girl is Sheila, tall, broad-shouldered, and flamboyantly dressed, like a glittering gem against the dull stone of the cliffs. The boy is her brother, Shade, slender and quick, cowled and black. Through the unguarded window they climb, slipping into the garden beyond. There at its heart is the artifact, their birthright. In your mind's eye, Sheila and Shade crouch on a ledge. You could see the artifact as they must have, a metallic cylinder fitted into a strange device. She leans forward, so eager to see what is rightfully hers. But the ground turns slick, and she falls, toppling into the garden, close enough to the artifact that she can almost reach. But she's snared in a net of rainbow light. Shade watches from the shadows. He makes no move to help. Betrayed, led into a trap by her twin. But if she couldn't have the artifact, at least she could touch. As her finger brushes the artifact, it flares with brilliant light, and it's gone. But not gone. Not really. It's part of Sheila now, changing her slowly from within. She can sense the change, but she doesn't know what it means, not yet, not as they lead her away. You catch a glimpse of Sheila being led in chains from the great house. She's cast into the bloom as a slave, and there she meets me. But it wasn't really you, right? No, not me, not me. It was another woman called the Speck, my namesake. The insignificant Speck. That's who she was back then. Tell me what Sheila did to warrant such respect. In the dark, in the bleeding guts of the bloom, a score of young women crouch in a cell carved from the living flesh of the bloom. Who they were before doesn't matter. They're slaves now, doomed to labor in the dark. One day someone new is brought to their cell and chained beside a small girl who calls herself the Speck. The new slave says her name is Sheila. Even in chains she meets the guards' eyes, and they look away. Already the bloom whispers in her ears. Sheila places her hands upon its flesh and strikes a bargain. You owe us, Sheila whispers to the bloom, for the slaves you've eaten, for the Speck's arm that you devoured. You owe us something in return. The flesh trembles beneath her hand and opens. Beyond is a chamber full of weapons. Sheila picks a glowing hammer for herself, or maybe the bloom does. It fits her hand like it was made for her, and it never leaves her side again. Then we gather together and make our plan to escape. When all of us are ready, Sheila starts hammering on the door to our cell. The guards come running, and we fall upon them, cutting them down, tearing them apart. Then Sheila leads us from our prison, and we pour into the market, gathering more and more slaves to her banner. We kill every master we can find. In the market, we decide to make our stand. Sheila knows that her enemy, the boss of Sagus, the woman who killed her parents and turned her brother against her, can't ignore her. We form up into ragged lines. Then we hear them, the roar of the soldiers, the tread of heavy boots getting closer, closer. Noise, confusion. I stay by Sheila's side when the battle is joined. I try to guard her back, but she's struck. First by an arrow, then by a blade. Wherever they cut her flesh, silver scales grow over the wound, and she keeps on fighting. Sheila knows why. When she touched the artifact, her birthright, it became a part of her, changed her so that she cannot be killed. She smiles, raises her hammer, crushes the skull of every soldier who stands against her. A shadow passes overhead. It's her traitorous brother Shade, soaring on wings of flesh and steel, come to kill her at last. He strikes her once, twice, and again. Each time silver scales grow to cover the wound. Instead of getting weaker, Sheila grows stronger. She grabs him by the foot and smashes him into the ground. But instead of killing him, she speaks to him. It's a whisper, and I can't hear what she says. But Shade begins to weep. When she lets him go, he stays on the ground. The battle is won, and the enemy soldiers are running. Sheila goes to face the woman who killed her parents. I leave you with your life, she tells her, but not your name. Get out of here and never come back. That's where the story ends. Our enemy fled, and the bloom was ours. Sagus Cliffs was ours. Sheila became the first Memavira. We ended the trade in slaves, and Sheila ruled Sagus and all the lands around for half a century, until the bloom called her to its heart. What happened to Sheila's enemy, the boss of Sagus? She was forgotten. Some of the slaves said that they followed her, thinking to kill her despite Sheila's promise of safe passage. But before they had a chance, she vanished. She escaped to another world, or was eaten by the bloom. I prefer to think the latter. You keep saying we as if you were there. I see the memories as if I was there, as if I was her, the first speck. But I couldn't have been there. It was too long ago. The bloom called Sheila to its heart? What does that mean? Its whispers called her, and she disappeared into the depths. Maybe it took her to another world, or maybe she still lives down there. One day she'll return for her speck. I'm sure of that. The whispers wouldn't lie. She'll return for one speck. Perhaps not me, but someday. Sheila entered the end of the Traven slaves, but now it's returned. In a different form, yes. The old slave-holding families bided their time for generations, marrying themselves into the new leading families of freed slaves. They found ways to justify slavery as a punishment for the wicked. So it is with the wealthy and powerful. They're more like bloom flesh than they'd care to admit. Stubborn, enduring, difficult to kill. All right, I want to know more about you. I'm only a speck, a mote of dust easily missed. Nothing important save for the words I speak, the stories I tell to those who would hear them. But I observe much that passes in the bloom, and I hear still more in its whispers. The whispers you hear are the voices of the bloom? So they are. A lot of people hear them, like the dude that we already talked to previously, but none as clearly as me. How did you lose your arm? I didn't. She did. The first speck, the insignificant one. All right, then how did she lose her arm? Eaten by the bloom. It was taken in her sleep, cauterized at the elbow, just like the stories say. No, mine wasn't eaten. It was nothing. What was I thinking about? I'm not really getting a grasp on this. Did she just do this to imitate her hero? Cut off her own arm, the whole business, or is it actually her? Okay. Is this a place of worship? Not really. People come to be close to the bloom because its mind is strong here. They leave offerings, valuables they've stolen, trophies of their kills, proof that they're hunters, not prey. Are you a leader or a priestess? Me? Making speeches, punishing the sinful? No, I'm only a speck. They let me stay here, and I tell them stories, that's all. Yeah, I know you guys are lurking. A lot of people, I've heard from people, actually, a number of people that said that when they're watching this game, a lot of times they're lurking because they're just listening to me doing all the reading, and they're kind of like drawn into the story, so... perhaps they think of me that way. Part of their illusion, I suppose. What sort of people lead offerings? Bloom cultists most of all, but also guides, scavengers, merchants who fear to lose their precious cargo, travelers from other worlds, and the Memovira before she lost the flavor of the bloom, or even the favor of the bloom. I almost said the flavor of the boom. Flavor of the boom! Tell you a story, Bram 00. Once upon a time, there was a game that had a lot of text. A lot of text. She'd heap the opening offering stone with their heads and hands of those she killed. So haughty she was back then, so sure the bloom loved her and things would never change. Nothing is forever in the bloom. What do the bloom cultists believe? That the bloom is a god. Not a very kind or benevolent one, of course. Some people seek an illusion of safety by redefining this thing that they fear. Oh, thank you, Vincero. I'm glad. Yeah, the game that I'm going to be doing after this, by the way, guys, is going to be Star Trek Judgment Rights. And I'm looking forward to, as much as I've been enjoying this game, I'm looking forward to a game with a little bit less reading. Story and narrative, yes, but since I read and write for a living, it's like, so. But this is fun stuff. I really enjoy this game quite a bit. I love the story sort of concepts within it. Does the bloom respond better to thieves and murderers? Sometimes it pays more attention to them. Oh, you haven't played it? Okay. That's pretty good, Bram, I think. Yeah. Oh, God, man. Planescape Torment, Ultima 7, and Arcanum. Did you do those all in a row, Kilgore? Because I remember stopping in for episodes of each of those. I saw you playing each of those. But did you play them all, like, in a row? Whether you want the attention of the bloom is another question. Predators is perhaps a better term for what it wants. Those who prey like it prays. Okay, Chila. Question about the shrine. Pretty much, yeah, maybe some overlap. Okay. I met a man outside. He claims to be the former Memovira. So he was. A man who enjoyed holding lives at his mercy, pronouncing judgment from his throne. Okay. The whole bloom was his palace, the seed of a kingdom he would build, for such was his ambition, and the bloom loved him for it. Such power it gave him. What sort of power? Ultimate power! Every Memovira can open a maw at a touch, but not all can summon maws to their side. Fewer still can call them outside the fleshy walls of the bloom, as he could. But the bloom turned on him, just as it's turning on the Memovira now. Just as it always does. So many lives cut short by his hand, so much fear bound up with his name. He'd grown fat with the terror and strife that he sowed. In the mind of the bloom he was a beast made plump for the slaughter. The bloom eats terror and strife? It might. Or perhaps it devoured his legacy of terror and strife, rolling him around in its guts until he was forgotten, until he forgot himself. Who knows? The whispers don't say. Cinemora EX. You know, I don't know anything about that name, Inquisitor. I've heard the title, but I know nothing about the game at all. Sounds like justice to me. To you it might. To the bloom it's hunger, nothing more. Is it justice if the bloom also goaded him to it? We'll never know, I suppose. It's all a cycle, round and round. Feast on one Memovira, raise another in his place, let the hunger build, and feast again. So now the bloom wants to eat this Memovira. That's why she's hiding in her tower. Okay, this is actually really useful info. Too scared to leave her tower, too proud and stubborn to abandon the bloom. She's no different than the ones who preceded her. Oh, 8-Bit is streaming it. Oh, awesome. The bloom will eat her, and her name will be forgotten. How long has the bloom cycle been going on? Since the time of Chila, at least, so 4 centuries? 5? Before that, who knows? There was no speck to watch and remember. Certainly the bloom is much, much older than that. Likely the cycle is just as ancient. If Sheila was the first Memavira, wouldn't she have been part of the bloom's feeding cycle too? What are you saying? She's proof that the cycle can be beaten. A person can bond with the bloom and survive, if they're strong enough. A rare soul they'd need to be. But yes, maybe it could be done. Stronger than the bloom. Never, or is that who Sheila truly was? Okay, I think I've talked about everything now. You sleep here? If you don't mind the stink of the moldering blankets, they won't mind you. But hospitality has a price. 45 shins for each guest. Ah, go to hell. I have a free place, too. Woo! That was a lot of reading, guys. Sorry, but that actually was useful information that I got. Let's talk to these clowns. Ragman. Get your face out of mine. Okay. Speck has always been here, even my grandmother's day. They all look about the same, too. Kind of confused about the history of the speck. Alright, let's get the hell out. Okay. That was a lot more reading than I expected, but at least it was an enclosed location, so that's good. Not sure about that, actually. I want to keep the scalpel just in case. Let's go to Surgeon's Slump. That's the next one I wanted to do. Okay. We've got here... Surgeon's Slump. Hope you're here for treatment. Our surgeons are running out of protection money. So this is Surgeon's Slump, huh? I had a quest in Surgeon's Slump. Here's the problem, Duscalte. That is a badass weapon. I mean, whether or not I need it, that weapon, right, like, that weapon is badass. 9 transdimensional damage, plus 3 damage per effort applied, plus 15% of weapon attacks, cut through dimensions on target. Well, I mean, when I find better weapons, I'll install them, but at the moment, I had that thing improved, so... Plus, I just don't think I would have gotten rid of it. This is a simple military tent made to be raised and broken down quickly. Size and condition of this tent leave no room for doubt that it belongs to the person in charge around here. Military tent, military tent. Inside this basket are several tumorous blobs. They appear to be slowly ingesting each other. Why is that unreachable?
I'm ready.
No, I don't. Blar. The hell?
On it.
Did not want to leave. Wanted to go inside. And move around a bit. Unreachable, unreachable, unreachable. Can I not get to anything here? Oh, I need to get to a maw on this side, huh? I can't get to anything here. That's interesting. Why can I not get to...
Trust and honesty are our bonds.
Why can I not get to anything? Alright, so I need to get to it through this maw, obviously. This is a bug? Really? This is a bug. Whoops, 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 whoops. No, no, no. Under the protection of our taglers irregulars. Hope you're here for treatment.
All right.
I am talking to them. I'm talking to them, but nothing is happening. Save from before entering the area. Okay, did I already do...
Ready.
I want to make sure that I did this right.
Sure.
Wait a second, wait a second, wait a second.
Go.
All right.
Damn it, I don't remember now. Okay. I don't want to mess it up. I don't remember whether I did this or not, because this is just like an autosave. There's no named NPCs that I could get to, though, is the problem. Did I already talk to you? Okay. So I did talk to her, so that's... okay. Hello, two cats yelling. Alright.
All right.
Let's head up this way.
Yes. Now.
This isn't doing anything. This is exactly what I did the last time. Jesus, the last time I didn't quick save was like... Oh. The hell was that? That was weird. Okay, thanks. Yeah, that was bizarre. Charlie Sheen? No, okay. When she turns, you realize the thing you had mistaken for a bundle of sticks and twine is Charlie Sheen, who turns to you and says, "Winning!" No. An impossibly thin woman, her face all angles and lines, her arms summer twigs. Her clothes drape across her like sailcloth, and though her face is young, her eyes are old, old, old. Her hands are pitted and scarred from alchemical processes, the apparatus for which stands in dizzying profusion behind her. She's not... Traveler, the shop of Sheen lies open before you. Essences distilled. Drafts for quaffing. Experiences delivered, a mouthful at a time. What did you mean when you said essences distilled and experiences delivered? That which we eat, that which we drink, this is not the only nourishment in our lives. Without joy, without peace, without happiness or courage, look at these bubbles. Existence itself becomes empty. These states I recreate, and into dull lives restore aught of glory. Clients come to me from across the protectorate. They desire to open themselves to new sensation, though perhaps unpleasant. Why? I ask not. Unpleasant horizons into the depths of human experience. Some seek solace in pain or domination or unusual abilities. With the traveler to present a gift of a unique experience, a transfusion of energy to Sheen, arrangements might be made. This traveler, though, scarred as he is, may have an interesting perspective. Tell me about yourself. From the clock of Kala I hail, superiority made flesh. The city of Sada Emidu, the house above the Indigel, saw my birth. My birthright, to explore, to delve, to understand. Yet the Zelator in his wisdom, Zelator, with his implants, told my family that my researchers endangered me, reduced me from an augur to a mere human! The Indigel, clear and fresh as a morning jewel. Rather than suffer legal exile, to this place I came. The bloom sought a piece of my mind, and so I took a piece of its, and from that connection comes the ability to draw essences. Clients seek me now, seek my knowledge, care not whether my modifications endanger me. Bliss. I'd trade it all for one more glimpse of the River City. We got trouble right here in River City. The bloom, my suffering. Can you create a mixture that will open the maw here in the slump? Know you what it seeks? All creatures live in desire. So too must the maw desire something. I have no idea. I can create any essence you desire, if your desire holds solid in your mind. Otherwise, ephemera. I ask again, do you know? I have no idea! Let me ask you some other questions. I have many unique experiences. I can provide the feeling of overwhelming another's mind with a wave of psychic energy. Sheen has heard of such of you. Dominators and manipulators. Sheen offers essences in trade for these energies. Your offering lowers my prices. Does the traveler accept? So, if I give this memory to her, I'm not giving up power, right? Am I giving up power? Or is it simply that I'm just sharing the essence of it with her? I'm not giving up power when I do this, right? Or am I? Because she talks about a sacrifice, and I wasn't 100% sure what that meant. I don't know whether I want to be actually giving up power to Charlie Sheen, honestly. That guy needs even less power, truly. I mean, if we're going to be clear about it. Step in with me, okay. Feel the familiar swirl of tidal energies. The machine continues to whir. You feel her insistent thoughts pushing at your mind. It's her memory. I kind of want by her. Yeah, there you go. The shell of her mind compresses. Her body becomes a puppet to your will, dancing to your invisible strings. Her grasp on your arm tightens as she writhes and screams, but she lets it go on and on. Finally, with a shriek, she releases her grip on your arm and fumbles for a beaker. Semi-solid, bloody tears spill from her eyes, great gouts of rich and putrid scabrous tissues. She retrieves them with her bottle, scraping the lip of the bottle up her cheeks to ensure that she captures the essence completely. Ugh. Let us never do that again. Browse the wares, the cost negligible. This is the cheaper version? Really? Really? Okay, let's see what we got. Essence of Bravery. 60% attacks. That's useful. Controlled, forced to fight on the caster's side. Also useful. Impure Essence. Increases the stat pool with the highest max value by 2. Increases the other pools by 1. 1,000 years of rest. +1 intellect edge. Active 3 sleeps. That's pretty useful. Choose a lore skill. Permanent +1 training level to that skill. I like that. Let's buy that. I feel like I'm not going to do that, but that seems pretty useful to me. Now, let's take a look at the lores I have. Lore natural, so I could do that. Okay, lore natural it is. Wow. Look at those exploration skills. Look at this. Training level specialized. Specialized plus. So I have all these things specialized plus. You definitely get powerful over time, like, no doubt. Mysterious device spews out brightly colored cubic bubbles, the result of a chemical process you can't begin to fathom. Unlimited power! Exactly. 3 sturdy metal levers jut from a mechanism affixed to the floor. Etched along their bases are a series of symbols marking each position at which the levers can be set. And then the movie version of this has everybody, literally everyone's doing that, and the movie version has everyone going like, no, too much power! Ah, bzz. Like, that's the way every movie version goes. Oh, really? Oh. Sorry. I'll move that temporarily. You can see that, right? Animesis is the only one that's lower. But concentration, cipher use, lore machinery, mystical, natural perception, persuasion, quick fingers, title affinity are all specialized. Amnesis is the only one that isn't. Or anamnesis. And lore machinery and perception are in particular specialized plus, which I guess is like even more specialized. Even more specialized. Oh, I was just waving my... I was making a point, is what I was doing, Hippo. I'm just like, look at my awesome, look at that. No, that isn't what I was doing. My apologies. It's kind of funny, though. Okay. Those green glow ones, as I move this again, are just specialized plus, so they're even more... I'm even better at those, basically. I'm a specialist in specializations, right. That's the true affinity. Good, lovely. Okay, righty. Tables covered with strange instruments and controls, lovely, alright.
You're sure it's safe?
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Metal cart is heavily armored. Surface has been damaged by countless blades and projectiles. Boros! This young man's beauty shines even through his grimy face and his tattered clothes. Oh, is this a guy to give him... His eyes are wide and staring. This is for the guy who's looking for the perfect people. Electric blue, and the movements his fingers trace to the air look like birds in flight. He snaps out of his reverie and grins at you, his teeth even and white against his brown skin. On closer examination, you can see that his rags are once fine fabrics, carefully and expertly stitched. Where am I going to get more money? Hello, he looks quite affluent. Hello, friend. My name is Buras. Can you spare 200 shins? Jesus, why do you need the money? Well, why? Friend, do you remember the first time you fell in love? The sweet laughter of an infant? The taste of a tear when you hear of a friend's death? I do. I remember them even though it haven't happened to me. At least, I don't think they have. But no matter. Here inside this shop, Sheen sells the essence of those experiences. If you have the shins, you can live them all yourself. My family never understood. They wouldn't even try it. At least you can live them until you run out of money. Which I have. Did I ask you for shins already? I could swear I did. I only need 200. Disown me. At least they think they did. I've had several families, thanks to Sheen. So you could deceive him. Oh my god, you could deceive this dude. I have nothing to spare today, but I do have news for you. A white automaton is giving out free essence samples in Mevar's courtyard. Oh my god. He would go there and get captured. Yeah, I think so. I think so. What do you want? You look at Mr. High and Mighty. Wants nothing good, I'll wager. At least not for us. I'd like to ask some questions. Aye, I'll wager you would. Here's my question first. What's a fancy looker like you doing down here? Slumming? Seeing how the unfortunates live? You don't belong and you ain't welcome. Damn. Pass on, gaudy shirt. Your shins rot in your purse. Damn. Artaglio. The features of this once handsome man are sunken and splotchy, the face of anxiety and drink evidenced by the flagon in his hand. The veins of his nose are broken, giving it a rosy appearance. Any cheer that might have lived in his face is destroyed by the frequent nervous glances over his shoulder. Following his gaze, you see a knotted mass of bloom flesh surrounded by waving tendrils some distance away. He looks you over, his eyes lingering on your cast-off tattoo. He takes a slow, deliberate drink. You come looking for soldiers, have you? Well, you found us. You want a kingdom overthrown, a tomb robbed, a caravan guarded? If you've got the shins, then you still come to the wrong place. Artaglio's irregulars are not ready to serve. Go hang. A thrice-damned cast-off. You won't be dragging my men back to that hell. Fine. What do you want? What is this place? Surgeon's Slump, the homiest place in all the Bloom. We've got the good doctors Demaray and Obervich here, and if you're sick, they'll see you right. As long as your illness is interesting enough. Need something alchemical? See Sheen. Our job is making sure no one gets too friendly with their shins but us. Anyone who wants to make a home here... Almost anyone who wants to make a home here is welcome. They can pay the price. Some people might call this a protection racket. Not in my hearing, though. Not unless they want to make use of one of the leeches themselves. Have you seen any of the Memovirus patrols around here? They stopped by to collect their duties a while ago. Can't remember when exactly. I think they were headed for the old slave blocks next. That's where the Murdens live. Best of luck to them. Darkside grows stronger today. If you're a military company, where's your standard? A tattered old rag, to be sure. But the troops seem strangely attached to it, should be. Must come from marching under its flutters and seeing so many of their friends dying under it. Strange things to a person's mind. Tattered as I am, I'd give anything to see our standard again. Some thieving Murden stole in here the other night, raiding us for food, weapons, and shins. They didn't get away with much, but they managed to swipe our standard. I think it was a personal insult. Why would they be insulting you? Jealousy? Because we've beaten them back before? Because we have more stuff than they do? Figuring out how abhumans think is a fool's errand. It's better to go with your instinct when dealing with them. That's what they know. Whatever the reason, well, they've got it now, and sometime I should get it back, but those Murdens knew exactly what they were taking from me. They mock me. You should go get it back yourself. It's not worth the bother. We raid them, they raid us. I'll get to it eventually. The irregulars might grumble, but we'll find it soon enough. I came here to save lives. Can I justify risking the men for a flag? Why don't you send some of your troops to get it back for you? For some reason, they seem to think it's my duty. They want me to do it personally. I'll get to it. Eventually. I reckon I'll never see that old rag again. This place has taken everything now. Okay. Why did you stare at my tattoo? You're a cast-off. I'm waiting for you to tell me the penalty for desertion. But unless you come with more strength than this, you'll have a hard time enforcing that penalty. What are you talking about? I'm a deserter from the endless battle. The changing gods side. Don't tell me you haven't heard of me. Don't answer that. Let me tell you what happened. We'd been working for the commander they called the Chalcedon for years. We earned our pay the hard way, but we did it honorably. We took bigger and bigger risks, and when I objected one day, the Chalcedon told me any cast-off could do my job, and for cheaper. Cast-offs don't die easy. It's not true for the rest of us. When we took our last objective for the Chalcedon, we found a nest of Juralisks. Not one, mind you, but many. I reported it personally to the Chalcedon, the commander of the Changing Gods army, and she told me to wipe them out no matter the cost. Having lost 10 of my friends that day, the cost was already too high. Damn cast-offs think they're gods, all of them. Couldn't give a damn about us. So I took it on myself to get the pay we were owed, and then we left. We came here to carve out a living, but it looks like we're still not clear of cast-offs. Yes, we deserved our posts. The endless battle is a ruiner of lives, and I'm damn proud I didn't waste any more there. Yeah, at least it wasn't Ultraless. You're a soldier? Tell me about that. Oh, didn't I introduce myself? How rude. Artaglio, condottiere at your service. Veteran of countless battles, mercenary not currently for hire. Condottiere, a professional warlord, a venture captain, a mercenary leader. These days, protector for the good leeches of the slump. Why aren't you for hire? I'd have thought you were here for the bounty. Didn't the Chalcedon send you? We deserted from the endless battle. We fought for the first militia on occasion, but for the changing God's army most times, until we were given a near impossible task. Don't care about any of that, I just want some questions answered. Like what? What's that you're drinking? This? This is Astarian rum, one of the finest and deadliest concoctions I've found in my travels across this land. It's like being smothered in a blanket of soft fur and drowned in love. It can strip the gloss off just about any material you care to name, too. Sounds like he's describing Diet Coke, honestly. Most people can't drink one mug, let alone two. Even these brave soldiers find it hard going. But you? I challenge you to match me and I'll match you. Put that vaunted cast-off constitution to the test. Other questions first. Keep looking at that knot of bloom flesh. The maw? No reason. I just don't like the way the damn thing looks. Don't like the way it sounds. You don't hear that whispering, chitterish noise that sounds like primal hunger? It wants to eat me. I know it wants to eat me. Worried that it might be sneaking up on me or that I might accidentally be slipping backward toward it. You don't fight in as many battles as I have without recognizing a potential death wish in your own heart. Command these troops and lead them out of here. I'm stuck here in the bloom. The fight's gone out of me, I'm afraid. Tabba, check me. Why am I offering my heart to a cast-off? Get out of here. Okay, I want to do this drink thing, but... Success! It burns on the way down. He wasn't kidding about its harsh qualities, but he failed to mention the acrid sting it puts in your nose. Tears spring to your eyes, but you manage to swallow it all. Have another? Well now, maybe cast-offs are good for something. Absolutely. Screwed! I'm gonna reload. Let's see if I can try that again. Yeah, I didn't realize I was blowing the whole amount on that. I got it, even though it was below 50% chance. Come on! Ah. It's gonna be impossible. Oh well.
Of course.
Alright.
Ready.
Yep, definitely not my skill. You see a tall, nervous man pacing back and forth. His hair is a mess, his clothing stained with food and chemicals. His left eye is an engraved orb of metal, and you can hear it whirring from a distance. He casts fretful glances all around the space as if waiting for someone or something.
Updated my journal.
Aligern, I heard you were in the bloom, but I didn't dare come to look for you. I had a revelation about your tattoos as I was examining the frame, and if I could just compare the windings of your tattoos with the circuitry of the frame, I could verify my hypothesis. Unfortunately, Murden stole the frame, and I have no idea where it is. Did you get my note? Orth? What in the name of the Black Three are you doing here? Why did you leave the Order of Truth? I got your note, and it said to be careful with my tattoos, but it didn't say why, and it didn't say where you were going. It didn't? Well, that can't be right. I distinctly remember... No, of course not. I was being coy and cautious, but I thought you divined my meaning. Did you stop using the tattoos? Rumors of a spy. I'm a virus spy of all things. I couldn't risk that. No. I've been working on powering them, making them more effective, holding my control. You look serious. It worries me. What could have set him off like this? Alright. That's my fault. I should have been more clear. And maybe it's nothing. I need the frame to be sure, though, but stop using them right now. Keep them close to you. What's your theory about this frame? I don't want to raise Aligern's hopes if I'm wrong. But if I'm right, well... we'll all be happy if you stopped using them externally. I dare not even think it. I've already gotten my hopes up. Why'd you tell him to stop? I have some suspicions, but I can only tell Aligarn. If I'm incorrect, there will be minimal harm. If I'm correct, well, I'll have some news that I'll be delighted to receive. Delighted. Back to their filthy nest, no doubt. I've heard they eat people, and I'm not much of a fighter. Or a negotiator, for that matter. I just don't know for sure. I studied that frame for years. Years! The more I studied it, the more concerned I was about the effects that I might trigger if I were to activate it somehow. With Aligarn's village of Ormond as my first data point, I thought perhaps I should remove myself to some place where the effects might be less disastrous. Much safer here. Much less likely to disrupt anything important. Also, the Order of Truth was annoyed with me. Happened to your left eye? This? Oh, nothing. I was doing some research in the Order of Truth and found this delightful apparatus. I thought that it appeared to be a prosthetic device, and as I was studying it more closely, it leapt onto my face and devoured my eye. Then it mated itself with my visual cortex. Of course it did. The pain was tremendous, of course, just blinding, if you'll pardon the phrasing. When I woke, I discovered that I could see in multiple spectra, discern remarkably small objects, and occasionally expand my consciousness into other dimensions. Or perhaps those are just the headaches paired with euphoria. Whatever the case, it was a worthwhile sacrifice, and I hardly ever notice that it's there anymore. Okay. Where do they take the frame? Probably their nest, that's my bet. Okay. Lovely. All right. You're handsome, so handsome, just let me cut your face. Good God. Blood covering this gurney does not inspire much confidence in its owner's professionalism. Detailed diagrams of various body parts cover a membrane stretched within a metal frame. It's charming.
All right.
Demarain Overvich, my last hope, my last. This telespontia is going to kill me.
All right.
Alright. You realize suddenly that this is a maw and the waving tendrils that are at its tongues. Somehow you're certain you've confronted this maw before. A moment later you correct yourself. You haven't confronted this maw before, but the changing god has, and in a different body. The memory glimmers half formed at the edge of your consciousness. Let's try to get that back. Concentrate upon the memory and it begins to emerge. The changing god stands in front of the surgeon's slump maw, and you realize now that it's uncommonly old. He wears the body of a tall and powerful man, Glaive. From a leather case at his side, he draws a crystalline object, clasping it tightly in his hand. Its name leaps into your mind, the magmatic amulet. Magmatic. This is the artifact that you seek, and it was once possessed by your sire. You take careful note of the artifact so that you can describe and recognize it if need be. Suddenly the whispering voices of the bloom are changed, as if the amulet is a prison through which they can be understood. It's still impossible to translate the chitterings into words, but impressions begin to fill the changing god's mind. Hunger and expectation, and most of all, welcome. Your sire reaches forward a hand, and the maw opens at his touch, compelled by a bond he has forged in the depths of the bloom. He steps through the portal and is gone. The memory fades. Well, I could open it up with a scalpel, but I have a feeling that's not going to go over real well.
Fine.
Alright, desk is littered with what appear to be journals recording medical experiments. Gruesome illustration depicts a human body suffering a multitude of different types of physical trauma. Next to each are annotations such as exquisite reaction and result is disappointingly premature loss of consciousness. Diagrams depicting the human head and brain stand in a corner of the room. Yeesh. This creature is half dissected and then forgotten. Its innards have turned putrid and black. This is, truly charming. Mass of bloom flesh quivers on the table picked up by humming machines. Every so often, one of them administers an electrical shock to the flesh, which responds with a scratchy little whine. You guys sound like a trip. Why, good sir, greetings, greetings, and welcome to our little operation. My name is Dr. Demaray. And I'm Dr. Obovich. It's probably best to grasp the top one. Each of his arms is bifurcated at the elbow with a mechanical forearm and hand grafted to them. A multitude of prosthetic eyes are drilled into the top of his head. But where are our manners? How can we help you? What can you tell me of yourselves? We are surgeons, no, doctors and explorers, who seek to expand the universe of medical knowledge. We have found the answers to so many questions, dissecting and vivisecting any number of strange beasts, and we come ever closer to unlocking the deeper secrets of human existence. I hasten to add that we are not licensed in a number of jurisdictions, and in fact I understand that several localities have warrants for our arrest. We do nothing to others that we are not willing to perform on ourselves. In fact, we only seek out specialized persons. We are particular about our patients. So far we've escaped arrest, not like that poor Gibra bastard Maddock. What became of him, I wonder? What sort of work do you do here? We take on any number of specialized patients. We'll take patient number 27, for example, or Jaunt, as he calls himself. He was a visitant from another world, an alien creature. Our local maw devoured him and then spat him out a year later without his skin, muscle, or memory. Yet if you look at him, you can see that he has both skin and muscle. Granted, it's human skin and muscle, but that's all we had to work with. We couldn't do anything about his memory. The skin and muscle doesn't suit patient 27's body structure, of course, but that only makes it more amazing. I'd like to know how he survived that in the first place. Yeah, no, I saw that.
You don't need your eyeglass case to fix it.
I don't think it... Okay, it's snapped there, you know.
When are you done?
About 15 minutes? 10, 15. Okay. Why couldn't you restore his memory? The bloom devours more than flesh and flesh and blown. It delivers more than blown. Flesh and bone. It is hyper-aware, hyper-sentient, and its needs are still beyond our knowledge. We do know that it sometimes feeds on certain mental states, and that certain psychic wavelengths attract its attention. I theorize that it nourishes itself on those wavelengths. This is most likely what happened to Jaunt. His essence, if you will, has been absorbed and probably excreted by now. There's no recovery from that. Well, I don't know why there's any recovery to the skin and muscle either. Okay, good day. Alright. Oh, and there's Jaunt. Speak of the devil. Alright, mercenary. Duty, so Renard. You have been since the Artaglios are regulars, you talk to Artaglio. Okay,
Doing begets learning, I guess.
alright, here's the guy. With skin and muscle. What's up, Jaunt? The skin of this broad-shouldered man looks blotchy, even patchwork. It slumps from his frame as if he'd lost a great deal of weight. He bobs his bald head in greeting as you approach, and his neck moves like it's broken. Yet he seems to be in no pain, and his movements are quick and assured. His voice is sonorous but fluting, with a strange buzz that grates on your nerves. Greetings, Sojourner. You stand with Jaunt. You can't help but notice that his gaze continues to steal over toward the band of soldiers gathered around the cask. The muscles of his face twitch and bob as he does so. Why do you keep looking at that group of men? I know that maw. I know its desire. And look! Its meal sits nearby, quaffing poison all day, as if the toxins numb the knowledge of the maw's desire. Even that drunken fool knows that it calls to him. It's a good day when it happens. If Artaglio is gone, then soldiers are gone, then Slump is free. Why is that a good thing? These soldiers, do they ask you for coin when you enter? No, because they bugged out in my playthrough, but anyway. Do you not see how the Slump operates? I get that word right. Over there, the good surgeons, they pay half their earnings to these bullies. Sheen there brews new experiences for the soldiers as they grow bored. They say they are here for our protection, but they're truly here for our labor. They make slaves of us all so they can buy their poisons. If the Memovirus still rules, we need not fear Artaglio's men. We fear soldiers. Both soldiers and Memovira fear the Bloom. What does the Bloom fear? Tell me about yourself. I have the pleasure of being Jaunt. I believe it is a pleasure. I do not have a memory any longer, and so I know not how the future remembers me. The burden of knowledge is gone. What can you tell me about those soldiers over there? Angry men. Always drinking, always armed. Best to approach with caution. Smile, hands open. But to speak nothing is my policy. Better if they are not here. If you tell me more about them, I might be able to help. Perhaps your interest piques when I tell you that Murdens from Old Slave Block raid this place some days ago. They steal the soldiers' standards, their flag of battle. But I see you nod already. You know about the standard. And you know that if someone brings it to him, someone asks a favor of Artaglio, someone makes a slave of the man for one request. Artaglio cannot refuse, not for the return of his standard. Okay, so I'm going to need to go to that slave block. What happened to your skin? You see that maw beyond them? The tongues there, they once seek me out, and I, bedazzled by them, give myself to their taste. It's interesting how he speaks all in present tense, not in the past. I awake, sometime later. Agony is my lot. The maw has stripped my skin and stolen my muscles. And somehow I'm still alive, even though I don't know how. It has eaten my memories. I do not recall who I am before, or where I come from, or even my own appearance. All I know is pain. If the good surgeons, Demaray and Elbrovich, are not watching, I am dead. They give me new muscles they make themselves. They grow me new skin made from dead men and sew it on. They cannot match old frame perfectly, but they tell me I am fascinating case, not human. No longer visitant, yes? Now a resident. But they cannot save my memory. The bloom is sated on me, my thoughts and dreams and other things caught up in its fabric. I am content. Miracle men, these doctors. They deserve a better place than under Artaglio's bullies. What else can you tell me about Demaray and Obrovich? They work miracles, those two, if you are of interest to them. If you are of interest to them, they bring fearsome knowledge to understand you. Okay, farewell, Jaunt. You would be well. Interesting speech patterns.
I guess.
Alright. So we've got the empty cage. So we've got the Murden's Lair. So a lot of it is going to be slaves block. So there's that. The missing patrol is also in the slave block. Can't do anything about that yet. Dracogen with the Cortex doesn't happen until I've got the other stuff that I need, which is that trade boast, hopefully in the slave block. And then we've got Ovinia, so good shape there. But I think before I do any of that, I'm going to rest in the spot that I'm supposed to rest, which is
All right, Ren, you can do this.
okay. So I'm going to rest in that place where I can rest for free, and then I'm going to be going up to where the slave block is. But that's good. I feel like we've covered a lot of the other side areas now. The slave block is the last place, that one right up there that I need to go. But first I'm going to rest back in the Memovira's courtyard. And I've also now discovered something about the Memovira, which is that she's freaked out that the bloom has turned on her, and so that will be another one. Oh, thanks, Chrono. Chrono, are you going to be good to go then, man? Are you going to be good for top of the hour?
Yes.
Because if so, I'm going to go and rest, and then I will come back up. I'll stop right short of the place, and then I will close up shop, which will be perfect. On time, yes. Lovely. Lovely, lovely.
I'm ready.
Okay, Chian, I need to rest here for free, please. Please, may I rest here for free? No problem. Sounds good. Thank you. Everybody's healed. Maximum power. Alright, we're going to go through here.
Let's go.
Okay, we go up to the slave block. Good, alright. Let's get up here.
Right off?
Slave block, where are you? Alright, we're not going to go in the slave block because I don't want to trigger a whole new quest of anything else, but we're going to stop just short of it, and then when we start next time, we will be going to the slave block. We'll be able to do a lot of the quests that we have to do here, but we did a lot, guys. We took care of that anchorage thing, we took care of that, we took care of this situation with, did most of the Surgeon's Slump. We got some information of the Shrine of Chila. So, a lot of text, a lot of reading, but long stream slot. 3 hours is usually the slot that I do. I think most of us do 3 hours. About 3 more sessions at the current pace. Okay. That would be okay, because that would wrap up, I mean, that would then wrap up the summer pretty much. So it would wrap up August, and then we'd start in September with some Star Trek. So, which would be nice. Okay. Over right. Excellent. And there we go. Lovely. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for me. I'm going to give way now to Chrono Wolf, who is going to be bringing you the power of Fallout 3 modded edition. Those are always fun to check a look at. And I am going to watch some of it after I get some dinner, because I've got to do that. I will be back here in a week. I'll be back here next Tuesday with some more of my Torment playthrough as I continue to play through this game, as we're in the home stretch now, or closing in on being in the home stretch. In the meantime, I will also be, thank you, X5. Also, I'm going to be on my channel. I'm going to be playing D&D with viewers on Friday. On Saturday, I'll be playing D&D with my Infinity and Beyond crew. That's kind of my flagship campaign. Next Tuesday, we'll be doing some Adventures of Middle-earth, my Tolkien campaign on my channel as well. So if you're interested in any or all of that, please make sure to follow my channel. Also, please follow the GOG channel and please sub to this channel. You can get a lot of cool emotes. It benefits all of us. And check out all of us individually as well, because we all stream with different games and different stuff, and there's lots of content for you to enjoy, like Chrono Wolf, you're going to check out right now. So thanks, everybody. Much love to everybody, and I will catch all of you wonderful people either on this channel in a week or on my channel before that sometime over the next few days. But until then, thanks, everybody, and I'll catch all of you wonderful people very soon. Have a good one.